welcome to Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Truck Series Speedy Cash 250. Severe weather and severe thunderstorms has stopped every single session today. Well, the track has been dried and we are ready to go. Let's go down to the NASCAR Radio Network to take you through the coverage of the Speedy Cash 250 at Texas Motor Speedway.
Better. It takes less effort to breathe. You can focus on the other stuff, and oxygen's better for the brain. So just not having to think about it, natural, easy breathing. It's better. Why not do it?
That's a good point. If it's better, why not do it? Well, Lane Riggs is chilling out here, been taking a lot of pictures, and his dad, Scott Riggs, former driver, of course, been directing traffic, making sure people get pictures with his son.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. We appreciate that. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network.
All right, Turnbull, are you going to BSI?
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway alongside Mark Garrow. My name is Brad Gilley. Joining us in the turns, we'll talk to them and get their view here momentarily. Rob Albright and Pat Patterson covering pit road. Doug Turnbull and Brett McMillan. A lot of excitement happening here tonight. 250 miles on this 1.5-mile super speedway, Mark. That's 167 laps. We know we're going to travel through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone 3 times tonight, not just for the beginning of stage number 2 and the beginning of stage number 3. We have a competition caution on lap 20.
And again, that is something that NASCAR normally does when we have the situation we had today. Not only no practice, no qualifying, but they want to make sure, the wet weather and how it affected the racetrack and how it might affect the tires. They'll get a good read on that after 20 laps. I'd take a look at some of the stats coming into this race for the Truck Series. 6 different winners in the first 7 races. That is tied for second most. They had 7 out of 7 back in 2012. But here's the thing that really jumps out at me. 105 lead changes and 58 leaders are the most ever through the first 7 races of a season for the Craftsman Truck Series. Very competitive all the way across. You've got a lot of guys that have done very well. You've had some hard luck stories. But again, 105 lead changes, 58 leaders.
Yeah, and the drivers who have been to victory lane, Corey Heim, he's currently leading the points. He has 2 wins this year. Chandler Smith won at Bristol. Tyler Ankrum won at Rockingham Speedway. Daniel Hemrick with a big win, his first of the series earlier this year. Those are the Truck Series regulars. The other 2 drivers who have won, both named Kyle. Actually, the man who won this race last year, but he's not in the field, that would be Kyle Busch, has won this year, as well as Kyle Larson. Kyle Larson pulling triple duty this weekend, Mark. He'll run tomorrow in the Xfinity Series for Connor Zilic, who is injured with the back injury after that horrendous-looking wreck last week at Talladega. Of course, Sunday in the Cup car, but last night and tomorrow night, Kyle Larson also ran at the 4/10 mile dirt track with the High Limit Racing Series. You can go check that out tomorrow night. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Ty Gibbs, Casey Kane, all running 410 sprint cars with the High Limit Series at the dirt track. It's going to be awesome.
When those guys blast around a corner wide open sideways, it is a show. Absolutely, 100%. Folks, if you haven't seen that before, man, you got to check it out because there's nothing like that. We talk about tracks being fast. Texas Motor Speedway, super fast. But sprint cars on a dirt track like that, it looks like they're just warp drive.
We've had so much rain here in North Texas. I live 10 miles down the road. That yesterday, the dirt track, they had it sealed off. They literally tilled it up, wheel packed it, and went racing, and it was perfect all night long. I was talking to Kenton Nelson, the assistant general manager here at TMS, and he said the racing was just simply incredible. So I think I might have to head over there tomorrow night, Mark.
If the track's a little wet, a little tacky, they can get a little faster. Wow.
Boy, can they for sure. Well, we're about to get the we're about to get the pre-race opening ceremonies underway. I'm getting a little ahead of myself here. Here at Texas Motor Speedway, a nice-looking crowd here. We look forward to that. We see the trucks lined up on pit road. We're about to get everyone stood up and start this race the right way. So let's go down trackside as Brian Hammond will get things going here at Texas.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask that you please rise as you are able. Remove your hats, and veterans render a hand salute as the 1st Cavalry Division Honor Guard from Fort Cavazos, Texas, presents our nation's colors. Here to offer tonight's invocation, please welcome from Texas Alliance Raceway Ministries, Brett Schisler.
Would you pray with me, please? Most loving and gracious God, we come here this evening and we thank you. We thank you for the men and women all over the world that help to keep us safe. And Lord, we come here tonight and we ask for a good, safe race. As we come to you tonight, Lord, we ask that you would be with each and every one of the drivers, with all of the crews, with all of the fans, with all of the safety workers, and with our world. And Lord, we finally come to you tonight and we ask that you would help us to understand that what it is that you want us to do, and then give the wisdom and the strength to do it until it is our turn to come home to you. It is in the strong and beautiful name of your Son, Jesus Christ, we pray. Amen.
Here to perform our national anthem, please welcome 21-year-old music major at Florida International University, Elise McFall.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
That'll put the wraps on the pre-race show from Texas Motor Speedway. When we come back, the command of fire engines.
And we will be getting the command very shortly, but let's just have a quick look at the radar. If I get it up, here is a close view of Texas Motor Speedway. You can see the clouds and the mist and everything that has been caused by the severe thunderstorms that we had earlier on in the day. We zoom out, and as you can see, all of the severe thunderstorms have dispersed and are no longer on the Dallas radar, which is good to see. And if we jump back to the Dallas radar, well, there's no rain. To the west, we are good. The only problem is, but it's not a problem, is that Texas Motor Speedway is currently under a flood warning, and that is for the West Fork Trinity River, which goes near Texas Motor Speedway, and you can see it here. And, well, we're on the edge of the warning, but we're not near the river, so no problem there. But that flood warning expires in 12 hours and 52 minutes. As you can see, that is the radar after everything we have had with the severe rain and severe thunderstorms and lightning that put a stop to everything else on schedule today. The first track action here at Texas Motor Speedway It's the Speedy Cash 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, the 8th race for the Craftsman Truck Series this year, and it takes place here at the Texas Motor Speedway. 32 cars getting ready to take to the Speedway, and there is the grid which will be gone through in full a little bit later on in the race build-up. We are around 13 minutes until the green flag to start this race, and we are moments away from the command being given to fire engines and getting the warm-up laps underway. Let's get ready to go back to NASCAR Radio to take you through the Speedy Cash 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Texas Motor Speedway.
It's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Get a big thumbs up. Get ready to rock and roll past the race cars today, pal. Oh, boys, let's execute. Have a good day.
Tonight, the SpeedyCash.com 250 from Texas Motor Speedway. Brought to you by Craftsman. Runs long, works great, won't slow you down. The Craftsman V20 brushless RP lineup, built for the backyard and beyond. See Craftsman.com for details. By Straight Talk Wireless, real unlimited data for fans of fast. Official partner of NASCAR. By Wendy's, home of the one and only $5 Biggie Bag. By Toyota. For the latest Toyota Gazoo racing information, visit tgrna.com. And by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance.
A lot of excitement here at Texas Motor Speedway as we're getting ready to fire the engines of the 32 pickup trucks that will run here tonight in the SpeedyCash.com 250. Brad Gilley alongside Mark Garrow. Again, we have that competition caution mark on lap 20. They can come in, they can make adjustments to their truck, they could change Goodyear Eagle tires on their truck, but the one thing they cannot do before the competition caution,
No Sunoco fuel?
no Sunoco fuel. Now, stage 1 is going to end on lap 40, so the likelihood of trucks coming in, well, I think if you feel like you need that adjustment, because they have not yet seen this racetrack at all this weekend as far as putting the trucks on it, if you're going to need that adjustment, you're going to know pretty early, and you're going to want that competition caution.
Sometimes you hit it, sometimes you don't, and as you just mentioned, it won't take very long to get into this race for these guys to figure it out. And again, it'll be interesting just to see how the track plays out after all the wet weather today. No racing on this racetrack at all. No Xfinity cars practicing, qualifying, no trucks. So it's just a completely green racetrack.
Yeah, it is a complete. In fact, the only thing that's been on this racetrack since the last time NASCAR was here, a little more than a year ago, has been driving school cars as well as various things. So it's going to be a lot of fun to see what happens here. And you can feel the tension already starting to build. We're about to go trackside to get the command to fire engines. We see 4 Apache helicopters flying over Texas Motor Speedway. What an amazing, impressive show of force here. So let's go back trackside with our PA announcer, Brian Hammond, to get things started here in Cowtown.
And now, here to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome CCF Family of Brands 2024 Operator of the Year nominees, Alejandro McLean, Ulysses Perez, Ryan Roscoe, and Bruce Cantrell.
Drivers, start your engines!
Now, here's the starting lineup.
Qualifying earlier today at Texas Motor Speedway was rained out, so the starting lineup goes by the NASCAR rulebook. Starting 32nd, Stephen Parsons, the Trophy Tractor Chevrolet. 31st will be Cody Dennison, the Timcast Ford. Matt Mills starts 30th in the JF Electric Utilitra Chevrolet. Josh Reaume rolls off 29th in the Ariel Titans Ford. Ben Rhodes starts 28th, the Zimmerer Kubota Ford. Starting 27th, Luke Fenhouse, the Soda Sense Ford. Frankie Muniz rolls off 26th in the Moorcore Ford. Tanner Gray starts 25th, the Place of Hope Toyota. Starting 24th will be Ty Majeski, the Soda Sense Curb Records Ford. 23rd, Stuart Friesen, the Hallmark International Toyota. Matt Crafton starts 22nd, the Planters Menards Ford. And starting 21st, Tony Breidinger, the Raising Cane's Toyota.
Then taking the green flag 20th, the Rackley Roofing Chevrolet of Dawson Sutton. 19th, Carson Hosevar, the Chili's Ride the Dente Chevrolet. The Champion Health Chevrolet of Nathan Bird. 18th, 17th, Bailey Curry, the Texas APA MG Machinery Chevrolet. The Tohatsu Chevrolet of Spencer Boyd goes 16th. 15th, Brandon Jones, the Andro Toyota. The Telcel Chevrolet goes off 14th. That's Andre Perez de Lara. The Gainbridge Chevrolet of Nick Sanchez, 13th. 12th, it's Connor Mozak, the Friends of Jacqueline Foundation Chevrolet, and then the JBL Toyota of Gio Ruggiero starts 11th.
And now your top 10 starters. Jack Woods rolls off 10th in the Adaptive One Caliper Chevrolet. The Speedy Cash Ford of Chandler Smith starts 9th. 8th will be Lane Riggs in the Aaron's Rent-to-Own Ford. 7th, Rajah Caruth, the HendrickCars.com Chevrolet. Caden Honeycutt will start 6th, the DQS Chevrolet. Rolling off 5th will be Grant Enfinger, the Champion Power Equipment Chevrolet. The Safe Light Foster Love Toyota of Corey Heim rolls off 4th. 3rd will be Jake Garcia, the Quanta Services Ford. And now your front row on the outside pole, Daniel Hemrick, the Napa 100th Anniversary Chevrolet. And on the pole, Tyler Ankrum, the Liuna Chevrolet.
And that's the starting lineup for the SpeedyCash.com 250 from Texas Motor Speedway.
There will always be more leads.
Engines fired here in Texas for the Speedy Cash 250. And as you heard moments ago, your starting lineup being read out by the NASCAR Racing Network as well. Let's go back to NASCAR Radio to take you through the pit road preview and the main race itself.
Series from Texas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
You're not going to want to miss tonight's county fair. I'm going to be...
We are your window to your community.
Did you see the last 5 minutes of that football game last night?
Oh, man, I saw the whole thing.
Well, US Radio doing US Radio with multiple ad breaks back to back, saying they're going to do stuff, and then they don't do stuff. Anyway, let's continue with the fill, and radar is still clear. I've got it on my screen. Let me throw it up. There is the radar, and as you can see, the radar is still clear. We are good to go for the Speedy Cash 250. Weather-wise, as you heard, we've got a competition caution at lap 20, so will be at least 3 cautions, including the stage brakes. So we'll be using the restart zone a minimum of 3 times, but it's trucks around Texas. I think will be a couple of incidents for, cautions for incidents, and of course completely green track. These are the first NASCARs that have been on track all weekend. Back, hopefully, to the NASCAR Radio Network. Down to pit lane.
Micro pits right near that entrance, but I'm going to go a little ways up to 24th place starter Ty Majeski, who's the last year's champion, top 10 of the points, all of that, but he's had his last 2 races crashed out and finished outside the top 30. I talked to Ty in the garage today, hey, man, how do you feel about starting deep in the field, no laps on the track? He said, hey, that's what we did during COVID. Let's send it and get it done. And he feels very confident that he can get that number 98 Thor Sport Ford toward the front. Where do you see it from your side, Brett McMillan?
Well, the thing I'm going to be watching, Doug, is who had the best notes and who prepared the best. With no practice and no qualifying, these guys had to go on their notes from last year. Now, the crew chiefs tell me that the track hasn't changed, and the trucks have made just a slight change for this year's race. So they're on their notes from last year, and most of them made just slight adjustments when they prepared the trucks for this week. But with no practice and no qualifying, they really don't know what they have. We'll find out if those slight adjustments make a difference by the time they get to that competition caution.
Time now to introduce you to a couple of other voices that will help with the play-by-play, lap-by-lap tonight from Texas Motor Speedway up in turns 1 and 2, Mr. Rob Albright.
And, Mark, I have a brand new view from the turns this season. I'm in a new location right at the entrance to turn number 2. Quite a view it is, in fact, about 20 feet above the racing surface. It's going to be fast and furious. 20 degrees of banking. It was 24 all the way till 2017, and they said it's time for a change, and the change has been made. It is very treacherous, say the drivers. An extra lane of width means that it's almost 70 feet wide. I'll pick up the call as they enter turn number 1. They'll hustle through 1 and 2, a little bit of a bump over the tunnel underneath the racetrack right in the middle of the corners. As they exit turn number 2, they'll start down that 1,330-foot long backstretch, and at about the midpoint where Big Hoss is, that's that huge video board, picking up the call, Pat Patterson.
Oh, thank you so much, Rob. Happy race day, everybody. Yes, they are in the throttle hard halfway down the backstretch, headed to turn 3. The arc into the corner, it's everything. You get in right, you can get through the corner, and you get a good exit. You get in a little late, you get forced a little high, you have problems. 24 degrees of banking down here, a little more to lean on than down on the other end. By the way, I'm going to disagree with the guys upstairs. They said this is a green racetrack. Nope, it's as gray as Grandpa's beard. There is nothing on this racetrack tonight, and anybody that can drive down into this corner at full speed that's never done it before, they're a better man than me.
Thank you very much, Pat. Tonight, our stages, lap 40 will end stage number 1. Stage 2 ends at lap 80. That leaves us 87 to the 167 laps that make up the 250.5 miles to be exact here in the Speedy Cash 250. Our starter tonight for NASCAR, Rich Keeter. Our pace car driver, Eric Johnson.
And it's going to be a lot of fun looking at
pace truck driver.
That is true.
Eric Johnson.
That is
correct myself.
They are lined up behind a nice white and blue Silverado here at Texas Motor Speedway. Field is heading into turn 3. The next time they come by the start-finish line mark, they're going to get to 1 to go signal, and they will get an anger here at Texas Motor Speedway. And I'll tell you what, we talk about the opening laps of this race and how treacherous it's going to be because they have not seen the track yet. Another thing that we need to watch for, should one of these trucks come loose off of turn number 4 and hit the grass in the ball field here at Texas, that is soaked, saturated, very wet. Not only are they going to slide, but they're going to make a heck of a performance out of it as well.
They're going to pick up speed for a while once they hit that grass. Then it could be a mud flying kind of deal at that particular point. You talked about the opening laps. How about the closing laps? 5 of the last 6 truck races here at Texas, the final lead change occurred with 9 laps or less to go, including 2 last lap passes. So we always seem to find a good truck race here at Texas.
Yeah, Craftsman Truck Series has a long history here at Texas, dating back to when the track opened in 1997, and for several years ran 2 races a year here at Texas. Even before Texas, for a time, had 2 Cup weekends, they would always be a part of the IndyCar weekend in the summer. They would be a part of the IndyCar weekend back when the IndyCar Series held their season finale here at Texas Motor Speedway. Nice to have them here for a triple header during this Worth 400 weekend.
I hate to say it, but I remember back in 1997, the late, great Kenny Irwin won that first truck race here at Texas.
Yeah,
I remember watching that race a long time ago.
Very, very exciting for sure. So we look forward to it, and it's been a great history here. In fact, this track has run more races for the Craftsman Truck Series than any other on the circuit as well. So, again, a nice long history with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Pat Patterson, they're headed underneath that Big Hoss TV at one time, the Guinness Book World world record holder for the largest big screen TV. What's that field looking like as they head toward you?
Well, the top 10 is going to line up like this when they get around into turn 4. Jack Wood and Chandler Smith in row number 5. Row 4 will be Lane Riggs and Rajah Caruth. Row 3, Caden Honeycutt, Grant Enfinger. Row 2, Corey Heim and Jake Garcia. And on the front row, leading us to green, Daniel Hemrick to the outside, and Tyler Ankrum has got that lead position here. Lights are off on the truck as they work their way through 3 and 4. Everybody scrubbing a little speed in the tires. We're ready to race them trucks in Texas the way it should be tonight.
That pace truck making the hard left turn onto pit road, and we've got the flag getting ready to come unfurled here at the starter stand at Texas Motor Speedway as we get set. The green flag is out. A big jump for Tyler Ankrum. On the outside lane, Daniel Hemrick getting a push from Corey Heim.
Right behind that pair is Jake Garcia, Corey Heim. They're battling for the second position. 3 wide now behind Tyler Ankrum. 3 wide, 5 rows deep as they charge off turn number 2.
Grant Enfinger has a big problem, goes sliding back through the field, and everybody's trying to move around him. Ankrum up front now, pulls that steering wheel to the left, takes that truck to the bottom of the racetrack, stands up hard in the throttle with Hemrick right behind him.
As they work their way down to the start-finish line, who's going to lead lap 1? Tyler Ankrum. Garcia, though, in hot pursuit again in turn 1.
As we watch these cars drop to the bottom of the racetrack, right down to the white line that separates the apron from the racing surface, Tyler Ankrum leads Jake Garcia by 2 car lengths.
Out in front, Ankrum now by 1 truck length over Garcia. Garcia falls right to his bumper, follows him into turns 3 and 4, looks to the inside for just a moment, can't make any kind of move. It's a long way back for Rajah Caruth.
Grant Enfinger started this race 5th. He got loose in turn 2, has already dropped to 18th. Meanwhile, big battle for the lead with Tyler Ankrum and Jake Garcia.
Well, Jake Garcia looking very aggressive. The young man will look to the low side of Ankrum. Ankrum will pinch him down on the bottom groove of the racetrack. It is Rajah Caruth running 3rd. He's about 10 car lengths back.
Everybody's sorting it out, and it's a real bunch of trucks trying to find their way through the 4th, 5th, and 6th position. Hemrick has lost the handle on his car. Rajah Caruth holds that 3rd spot as they work off at turn 4.
Chandler Smith has taken over the 4th spot as Daniel Hemrick got way wide up in turn number 2. He's lost 4 or 5 spots and is continuing to slide back.
Keep an eye on that front row starter, Daniel Hemrick, running very high on the racetrack. Remember, competition, caution coming up past at lap number 20.
Yeah, Hemrick right now just trying to find a handle on his truck as he continues to slide backwards. Caden Honeycutt has gotten around him. The battle up front, though, has not cooled off at all. Ankrum still holding off Garcia.
Jake Garcia hungry for a win here in the early laps. It'll be 4 complete this time by right on the rear tailgate of Tyler Ankrum as they head to 1.
Rajah Caruth now has separated himself from the rest of the pack in that 3rd position, trying to reel in this straight-running pair. It is still nose to tail off turn number 2, Ankrum and Garcia.
Garcia now once again following right in the tire tracks down midway down the long stretch here at Texas Motor Speedway. The bottom of the racetrack they go. Again, the separation up front, only about a truck length off 4.
Ankrum and Garcia, though, are leaving 3rd place. Rajah Caruth. Garcia, who led 43 laps at Rockingham, still trying to lead his 1st lap here at Texas.
Jake looking high this time. He's tried the bottom. There was nothing there. Nothing on the top side either. He'll settle back about 3 truck lengths. He is out of shape. Very loose off turn 2.
Looked like he almost got into the wall. Loses a lot of distance. Now here comes Rajah Caruth. He'll easily move or try to move under him. He gets blocked on the outside. Here comes Lane Riggs to the outside. He wants to take the spot away.
Move Lane Riggs up to 2nd. Several truck lengths behind race leader Tyler Ankrum. Now it's Lane Riggs in 2nd. Jake Garcia in 3rd. In heavy pursuit, Rajah Caruth runs 4th.
So Tyler Ankrum now all of a sudden with a 30 truck length lead over the new 2nd place runner. That's Lane Riggs. Garcia caught his breath and he's back under power in that 3rd spot.
A little further back now, Gio Ruggiero has got a good truck running hard here tonight as he tries to close in on Rajah Caruth. They'll battle their way into turns 3 and 4. Bottom of the racetrack, about a truck length and a half separate those 2.
Ruggiero started 11th. He's already up to 5th, has his sights set on 4th. He now is trailing Rajah Caruth as they go single file to turn 1.
Jake Garcia and Gio Ruggiero, 2 young drivers, really getting stronger as this season progresses. Now right behind Corey Heim, who started in row number 2. He's all over the back bumper of Ruggiero.
Corey Heim in a blue and white colored truck here tonight as he begins to work to the outside of Gio Ruggiero. Can't get anything done there. Falls back in line as they work off a turn 3 and 4.
Couple of Toyotas trying to battle right there. Just behind them, though, Chandler Smith now has a lot of pressure. That coming from Caden Honeycutt. Honeycutt drives to his outside.
Backside of the top 10 because Tyler Ankrum continues to stretch his advantage down to the bottom. It is Chandler Smith. He'll take that spot from Caden Honeycutt as they charge off turn 2.
Kind of a home game for Honeycutt and the Nice Motorsports group here tonight as he tries to hang on to that top group. Meanwhile, it's Ankrum way out in front now of Lane Riggs.
Riggs, though, is making up some ground as we go down to pit reporter Doug Turnbull.
Daniel Hemrick started second in this race. He's been on quite the tear lately for the McAnally Hilgman number 19 Chevrolet, but he's now running 13th. We saw him get loose on the outside, passed by a lot of trucks. Once he finally found a spot where he wasn't just surrounded by trucks, his crew chief Joshua Graham asked him, hey, I need an update on the handle. What's going on? He just said, got really unstable there. He also asked if the 38 of Chandler Smith hit him, causing him to get loose, and he was told, nope, you just got loose. So they're certainly looking forward to this competition caution coming up in lap 20.
This time by, it'll be lap number 10 complete here at Texas Motor Speedway. Tyler Ankrum leads, being chased down by Lane Riggs.
So I just switched to Straight Talk Wireless.
Uh-oh, we just ran out of gas.
Great, gives us time to watch the race.
You know the next town is 50 miles away, right?
Don't worry, I have real unlimited data now.
But how are we going to get out of here?
We got about 200 laps before we need to figure that out.
Get a free 5G phone with
lap 10 of 167. Ankrum, Riggs, Garcia, Carruth, your top 4, as we are currently looking at Carruth, who is chasing down Garcia. Down into the low side we go. And Carruth just a little bit too far away to make a move on the number 13 car as we cut to the battle for first and second. It's half a second the gap between Ankrum and Riggs out the front as we complete another lap. And we start lap 12 of 167. Looking now at the number 19 Napa 100 livery.
Ankrum hang on by his fingernails. Lane Riggs closed right to the back bumper, but can he settle back a few truck lengths?
Looked like he got a little loose off of 2, maybe lost her in the middle of 1 and 2 there. He's about 8 to 10 truck lengths now behind the leader, exiting turn 4.
7 laps away from our competition caution from Texas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Lap 13 of 167. And we are continuing to look at the battle of first and second. And the gap has gone down from half a second to just over a tenth of a second. Battle for the lead between Ankrum and Riggs as we go across the line to complete another lap. And lap traffic is coming into play now around the outside of the number 5, and the 34 of Riggs very, very nearly cutting the rear of the number 5 truck, who just was lapped. But it's still Ankrum and Riggs battling it out in front on lap 14 of 167, 14 of 40. Here in stage 1, having a look at the number 52 of Stuart Friesen now, and this is 14th place.
We're 4.5 laps away from the competition caution here at Texas Motor Speedway and the SpeedyCash.com 250 for the Craftsman Truck Series. The top 2 trucks, Tyler Ankrum, Lane Riggs, have left everybody. Riggs now right there with Ankrum. They crossed the start-finish line. Only a truck length is the separation. They're back in 1.
Pack of cars third through 8th position, but let's focus in on this race leader battle between Tyler Ankrum and Lane Riggs. Riggs once again, Pat, beginning to close ground.
He's been really close to finding a place to really work over Ankrum and get the pass in. He looks to the outside now into turns 3 and 4, goes back down to the bottom of the racetrack, making a 1 truck length lead.
This time by, it's going to be 3 laps to go until the competition caution. Again, Lane Riggs right on the tailgate of Tyler Ankrum into 1.
And they're charging so hard they may come up on a group of trucks trying to stay on the tail end of the lead lap before we reach that top caution. 1 truck length of separation now off turn 2.
Everybody, the entire field field trying to think of what they want to do on this competition cautions. They work down into turn number 3. Once again, it's Ankrum out in front, takes his truck right down to the bottom of the racetrack. Only about a half a truck length separate.
4 seconds behind him, Corey Heim has just taken over third from Jake Garcia. The lead battle back to turn 1 with 2 to go before the comp caution.
So far, Lane Riggs not able to find the magic, not able to find the line that will work. He'll go way high this time, middle of the banking in turn 2, and he's got a strong run off the corner.
See if he can get something done now as they work down the backstretch one more time into turns 3 and 4. Can't find any way to move around Ankrum. Ankrum is so strong down on the bottom of the racetrack. He looks to the outside off 4.
Lap traffic could come into play. Josh Rayum right in front of Tyler Ankrum. Ankrum swings to his outside, so does Lane Riggs.
Riggs looked like he might have an opportunity to make the pass, but Josh Rayum played with spoiler in the middle of 1 and 2. Tyler Ankrum's lead, 1 truck length.
You didn't know any better. You think these boys were racing for the checkered flag right now. Midway down the backstretch here at TMS. Out to the outside. Once again, Riggs looked. Can't seem to make anything work as he gets to the middle of 3 and 4. Riggs will try to go to the outside again.
Riggs tries to work up there, gets a little bit sideways as Ankrum cuts him off. They flash across the stripe, 20 laps down, head back to 1. We're waiting shortly now for the yellow flag, and it is now out. So Tyler Ankrum from the pole has led the opening 20 races, opening 20 laps here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Under competition caution here at Texas Motor Speedway for the speedycash.com 250. And the competition caution, of course, because we had the cancellation of the Truck Series practice and qualifying, so this is their first time out on track. So as per the NASCAR rulebook, they get a competition caution in the first stage. So we'll be getting a restart very shortly. But we will have, once again, under 20 laps before we get another caution. Because on lap 40, it is, of course, the stage 1 caution, as it's the end of stage 1. Tyler Ankrum led the first 20 laps, with Lane Riggs, Corey Heim, Jake Garcia, your top 4. Then it's Ruggiero, Caruth, Honeycutt, Chandler Smith, Ty Majeski, and Carson Hostfire, your top 10.
We're going to hold it here before we send it back to our local stations and see if we have any takers. And Mark, I've got a feeling, looking at the handle of these race trucks, especially in 1 and 2, some people have to come in.
So if you're Ty Majeski, you're up 15. Ben Rhodes plus 12. Stuart Friesen is up 11. You might stay out. But if you're Daniel Hemrick, minus 20. Grant Enfinger, minus 15. Jack Wood, minus 13. I think you're probably going to want to find pit road.
Yeah, I would think you're going to need some adjustments. So Tyler Ankrum right behind the pace truck. He is going to bypass pit road as we expected most of the top contenders to do it. We have Rajah Caruth pulls a fake. He does not go down pit road, but we do have at least one taker. That's Chandler Smith. We have Matt Crafton coming down, as well as several others in the back of the field. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
And on my end of pit road, all of the leaders have stayed out here, although I see Daniel Hemrick almost ran into another truck. He comes to a stop at his pit stall. He lost over 10 spots at the beginning there. Also, Tyler Ankrum stayed out, but he couldn't hear his spotter the whole time. He was fighting off Lane Riggs on that run. It was impressive. He was able to keep the lead there, Brett McMillan.
Chandler Smith said he needs more left rear spring. He said he was super free. He needs help there. They're giving him a 4-tire change. Also in Grant Enfinger, he's getting a 4-tire change as well. Remember, at the beginning of the race, he kind of caught the inside lip, and that sent him up the track. They're finishing up his 4-tire change right now.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Thank you very much, Brett McMillan. When we come back, we're going to give you a full field rundown. Then we'll take you through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. The Restart Zone brought to you by Echo Park Automotive. Every car, happy owner. We owe our local stations a break. From Texas Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
And let's quickly go back over to the radar screen. And as you can see, it's still clear, the radar. But also, just to note the flood warning that Texas Motor Speedway was under due to the river that is to the north of it. That has now been allowed to expire and has been taken away by the National Weather Service. I was going to do a full rundown, but I don't need to because the NASCAR Racing Network will take you through that a little bit later on in a couple of minutes' time, as it's 1:37 a.m. here in the UK, and I'm definitely not tired at all, but hey, it's the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race at Texas and you can't miss it. 17 laps remaining here in stage 1. It's 40-40, and then I believe 87 laps is the final stage.
We're back at Texas Motor Speedway. During the competition caution, we had some takers, and we had a number of trucks stay out there on the racetrack. Not surprisingly, among that group, the leader, Tyler Ankrum. He has led every single lap so far. Lane Riggs running in the second spot. Corey Heim has moved up to third. Jake Garcia fourth. 5th, Gio Ruggiero after starting 11th. Rajah Caruth is 6th. 7th, Caden Honeycutt. Ty Majeski 8th. He's up 16 spots. Carson Hocevar 9th, and 10th is Brandon Jones.
11th is Stuart Friesen. Connor Mozak runs in 12th. 13th is Nick Sanchez. Ben Rhodes runs in 14th. 15th, Andre Perez de Lara. 16th, the first car to come onto pit road. That's Chandler Smith. Matt Crafton runs in 17th. 18th is Bailey Curry. 19th, Grant Enfinger. And Frankie Muniz runs in 20th.
21st, Matt Mills. Josh Rayum is 22nd. 23rd, Jack Wood. Daniel Hemrick, 24th. Luke Fenhouse in the 25th position. Tanner Gray, 26th. Then Spencer Boyd, 27th. Cody Dennison, 28th. 29th, Dawson Sutton. Stephen Parsons, 30th. 31st is Nathan Bird. And Tony Breitinger is in 32nd. The 31st and 32nd spot drivers are down 1 lap.
That leaderboard update brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, official partner of NASCAR. Fans of Fast get real unlimited data on reliable 5G with no contracts or hidden fees. Now at Walmart and straighttalk.com. Straight Talk Wireless.
It'll be interesting on this restart. Tyler Ankrum, Lane Riggs had driven away, but Corey Heim was starting to flex his muscle. He had just taken over the third spot from Jake Garcia, so we'll have to see if Heim, the point leader and the only multi-winner so far this year on the Truck Series, let's see what he's got now for those top 2 trucks.
And in case you're wondering, we're going to restart with 15 laps to go in stage number 1. Stage number 2 will take us all the way to lap 90. Mark, doing the calculations here, lap 80 rather, doing our calculations here, talking to our pit reporters. Those trucks who just pitted, that's going to put them about 5 laps short on Sunoco race fuel. We know we have at least 1 caution built into that with the stage 1 break.
And those guys pitted because they were struggling. They may need another pit stop to get dialed in. We'll have to wait and see. So, again, we're about to restart the Speedy Cash 250. The Pace truck is heading for pit road. We're getting set to go again. And they're getting ready to get into the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Every car, happy owner, Echo Park Automotive.
Yeah, a lot of happy owners for sure from Echo Park Automotive. All right, Tyler Ankrum leads him on the inside. He gets the jump as a control truck, but Lane Riggs on the outside gets a nice push from Jake Garcia as they head into 1.
Riggs had been the fastest truck over the last 7 or 8 laps, but can he capitalize on this restart? Door to door with Tyler Ankrum. Corey Heim trying to determine who he wants to follow off turn 2.
Heim right now getting covered up 3 wide down the backstretch, and you look at Gio Ruggiero trying to make a move. Bottom of the racetrack. Garcia is there. Battle up front. Here comes Riggs to the outside. He wants to lead off of turn number 4.
This time, Tyler Ankrum cannot get up the racetrack to make the block. Here is Riggs at the stripe. A new leader at Texas. They're back in 1.
Corey Heim has dropped back to the 6th position from 3rd on the restart. Ankrum hanging on. He is still door to door, dead even. Now off of turn number 2. Advantage goes to Lane Riggs, and Pat, he's got the new race lead.
Riggs looked like he was shot out of the cannon back there coming out of turn number 2 into number 3. Now he goes with about a 5-truck lead. The battle is for second to the outside. Here comes Ruggiero.
Jake Garcia on the outside of Tyler Ankrum, he's getting a nice push from Corey Heim as they hit the start-finish line. Tyler Ankrum in 2 laps goes from first to fourth.
Early in this race while battling for the lead, Jake Garcia, big slide in 1 and 2, gathered it in. Now he's back up to that second spot. Does he have anything for that new race leader?
Oh, he's got a long way to go to try to catch back up to Riggs, who's really stretching it out up front. You go back there to Garcia, another 4 or 5 truck lengths back to Hocevar now, working at the bottom of the racetrack. Or excuse me, make that Corey Heim on the bottom.
So Heim now running in the 3rd spot. Then it's Ankrum as they come back down across the stripe. Running now in the 5th spot, Ty Majeski. He's been the big man on the move early on.
Ty Majeski working his way toward the front. Corey Heim, after slipping back to 6th on the restart, gathered it in. He's 3rd, and he's quickly closing on Garcia.
Working down the backstretch once again now. Not quite as big of a lead for Riggs as he has lost a little bit of it. That battle for second, though. Corey Heim trying to come on against the 13 truck off 4.
Side-by-side battle for 4th. Tyler Ankrum has it. Ty Majeski wants it. Remember, Ankrum, a radio issue, cannot hear his spotter right now. They're still door-to-door into 1.
After leading the first 20 laps all the way to the top caution, Tyler Ankrum beginning to struggle just a bit to the inside. Majeski. Ankrum finds himself to the outside.
Well, those two have got to go, but like I said, Hocevar coming very, very fast behind them. Up front, though, the battle for second. Only separated by a truck length and a half now off turn 4.
Ankrum trying to hold off Ty Majeski from the outside. Majeski on the bottom slides up the racetrack. Those 2 trucks nearly touch. Carson Hocevar's looking for some running room. So is Gio Ruggiero. Now we have a big crash. One of the trucks has caught the grass. I believe it was the Ruggiero truck. Caught the edge of the grass, and that carromed him into the outside wall. The yellow flag is out here at Texas.
Rob Albright, what do you see in front of you?
Yeah, Caden Honeycutt was also involved. He just had absolutely no place to go after hitting that grass. That machine of Ruggiero, whose one inside or left front wheel has now separated itself from the race car. It's now come to rest at the bottom of the racetrack. He is sitting at the bottom as well. Caden Honeycutt still sitting up on top, but there could have been a whole lot more cars involved than just these 2. We have had a couple more. Brandon Jones, I think, got some damage as well. So far, just keeping an eye to see when these 2 guys climb out of their race cars.
Ruggiero lost control of his truck. We have 2 little left-hand kinks on the front stretch here at Texas. One in front of the start-finish line, one just after. And just as he started to turn left, he caught the grass. Not sure if he had some help, and that jerked the truck hard to the right. Big impact for Gio Ruggiero.
Yeah, for sure. The left front wheel was ripped off a Brandon Jones truck. I mean, there is some serious damage out there with that one and a lot going on here. This one's going to take a little while to clean up for sure, Mark. And we're looking at Brandon Jones' truck here, literally the left front wheel assembly with all of that going as we see a replay here. Great battle for 4th as they're coming across the start-finish line, and it's just behind them. Gio Ruggiero right behind Carson Hocevar on the inside. Wow. And not only that, he just literally ripped right through the grass there.
He took a peek to the inside of Hocevar's truck looking for some racing room, and there was the grass. He didn't get put down there by anybody, just one of those weird deals where you're following the tailgate of another truck and you just peek to the inside. Problem was, he was right up against that grass. You talked about it in the pre-race show. It's wet. It's muddy, and when they dropped in there, that truck really jerked hard to the right. A big impact, and it was good news for him to jump out of the truck. We watched, he just kind of steered right in it. When he did, it went into a hole and just tore that truck apart, jackknifed it to the right.
Yeah, he didn't dip a wheel into the grass. Literally the left half of his truck went into the grass. That's how far he was in. Caden Honeycutt was on his outside, an innocent victim. We saw Stuart Friesen get sideways in that incident as well. We mentioned Brandon Jones also ripped the left front off of his truck. Lane Riggs leads here at Texas Motor Speedway as we have 8 laps to go till the conclusion of stage number 1.
And a big incident out on circuit, which will take quite a bit of cleaning up to do. Caden Honeycutt's car completely destroyed. Brandon Jones's car completely destroyed. Ruggiero's car completely destroyed. Many trucks completely destroyed here at Texas. And a couple of hard hits on the outside safer barrier for the Speedy Cash 250. And we will get a full lineup, which I believe the full lineup is now on your screen. And we will hopefully get a confirmation of the full lineup momentarily from the NASCAR radio network. Recovery and cleanup underway here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Motor Speedway with the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. We'll see if pit road gets open and anyone wants to come down and get Sunoco fuel. 7 laps to go in stage number 1. And tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. Lane Riggs leads Corey Heim, Jake Garcia, Ty Majeski, and Tyler Ankrum from Texas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Yes, as I have just realised that the lap counter isn't working, so next time I throw down to NASCAR radio, I will try and fix that for you on the top of the screen, as we are getting ready for the restart, hopefully on a little bit later. There we go. Just the refresh button working well there, as we are still under caution with 134 laps remaining now, with 6 to go in the stage. We may get a couple of laps before the green and white checkered, but depending on how big the cleanup is, we may be under yellow for the rest of the stage. I don't believe so though, because pits are open, and well, there's a lot of red on the timing screen. Let's go down to pit road.
Pit road is open into our second caution here at Texas Motor Speedway, and the lion's share of the field is coming to pit road, including the former leader of the race, pole sitter Tyler Ankrum, whose radio's been stuck the whole time. He can't hear his crew chief or his spotter there. They're trying to work up a plan for that. Also, the 98 machine of Ty Majeski has been in. He's going to have driven from 24th inside of the top 5 there, Brett McMillan.
All right, Riggs is in, and he's had some trouble on their pit stop. They had a lot of trouble on the right front of that truck. They finally got around to the left front. They've also wiped off the grill, a little bit of grass on there as well. They finally dropped the truck, and he heads out, but that trouble on the spots.
All right, thank you very much, Doug Turnbull and Brett McMillan. What's it look like off pit road, Mark?
Cody Dennison and Luke Fenhouse, 1-2 off the pit lane.
Interesting. We'll get you a full field rundown because we'll see who stayed out. And with 6 laps to go in stage number 1, obviously opting to pit now while you can and make sure you retain track position coming out of the end of the stage. But not everyone came down to pit road. Mark, right now, let's talk about our Craftsman who's getting it done. Your yard isn't overgrown. It's just ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See craftsman.com for details. Who's getting it done, Mark Arrow?
I'm going to vote for Ty Majeski. Until we had that caution, he had driven up 20-plus spots from the 24th position. He has had a rough go early on in this season, so it's good news for him to get it done here early on at Texas.
I would agree with you, and I know Rob Albright's done a great job of describing the play-by-play in turns 1 and 2, Pat Patterson in 3 and 4. It is amplified right now early in this race just how hard it is to move outside of a lane. We heard Rajah Caruth talking about it with Mike Bagley during our pre-race coverage, that this stays kind of a one-groove racetrack, and with a shorter 250-mile race, it's not going to be until the end of the track really starts to widen out, Mark, and I think we're starting to see it happen a little bit in 1 and 2, where the banking is only 20 degrees, a little more in 3 and 4, where it's 24 degrees, but still, right now, at this point in the race, it's hard to move, and if you're Ty Majeski and you can gain that many spots, that says that you have a very, very fast truck.
Absolutely. Rob Albright.
Well, right in front of me, I've noticed that where the traction compound was applied last year, that part of the racetrack, it is 1.5 lanes up from the very bottom of the racetrack, is literally shiny. I mean, it looks like it's wet. I don't know if that's what's causing these trucks to get extremely loose in turns 1 and 2. With 4 degrees less of banking than Pat has down in turns 3 and 4, that makes it challenging enough. But if, in fact, that's slick, that's going to be very, very difficult for these guys throughout this race.
Thank you very much, Rob Albright. And that traction compound. It was PJ1 that had been used in the past here at Texas. It needs heat to be activated. Currently 67 degrees. We had a rainy day earlier today, so it's not like the Texas sun has been shining down on it all day, Mark, and until someone goes up there and starts to ease their way through it, it's going to be a tough go, and we've seen drivers lose a lot of ground. It happened early in the race on the opening lap to Grant Enfinger. It happened to Daniel Hemrick as well as several other tracks, and or trucks rather. They didn't lose a spot when that happened. They lost 10 spots or more.
Yeah, you have to dive out of the gas or you're going to hit the wall. So you're going to give up a lot, but you're going to survive. And that's kind of what happened up there. Let's give you the rundown as we have it when they come by and take the green flag. 3 laps left in stage number 1 of the SpeedyCash.com 250. Matt Crafton, your leader. Grant Enfinger, second. Matt Mills is third. Jack Wood, 4th, Daniel Hemrick 5th, Tanner Gray 6th, 7th, Luke Fenhouse, Frankie Muniz is 8th, 9th, Corey Heim 10th, Ty Majeski.
Dawson Sutton runs in 11th, 12th is Jake Garcia, 13th, Chandler Smith, Rajah Caruth is 14th, 15th, Carson Hocevar, Spencer Boyd 16th, Andre Perez before this caution now runs in 20th after pit stops.
Pat Patterson, they're lined up 2 by 2 in front of you.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, I thought the racing was pretty good there for these opening laps, and I think it's going to get even better. Up here on the front row, a couple of wily veterans that are going to get after it. Grant Enfinger in the number 9 truck, and of course it's Matt Crafton in that number 88. Pace truck heads for the pit road. We're about to restart at Texas.
As they head into the Echo Park Automotive restart zone, Matt Crafton, the control truck, he did choose the outside. That's been the treacherous lane. He gets a great jump, but so does Grant Enfinger. Enfinger now with the advantage heading to 1.
I'm with you. I was surprised that Matt Crafton picked the outside. I think it's going to work to his disadvantage. Race leader off that second corner, Grant Enfinger, and Crafton's about to lose second.
Enfinger down the back stretch now. He's way out in front as we almost get 3 wide. Daniel Hemrick thought about making it 3 wide just a moment ago as the field races into turn number 3. Now it'll be Enfinger leading all 4.
Only 2 laps left in stage number 1 here at Texas. Grant Enfinger is driving away as they work their way back to 1.
You know, Daniel Hemrick lost 20 spots during that opening session of 20 green flag laps. Now he finds himself in position to get some stage points. He's riding in 4th and closing on the back bumper of Crafton.
And Crafton will be about a truck length and a half back there. Hemrick falls in behind him as they work into turn number 3 and 4. Once again, here comes the leader off of turn number 4, Grant Enfinger.
1 to go here in stage number 1. Grant Enfinger leads Matt Mills. Then it's Matt Crafton, Daniel Hemrick. We've got a battle for 5th. Right now, Tanner Gray has it, but Corey Heim wants it.
Heim very aggressively moves to the top. He'll get up in that traction compound that we talked about. Thinks better of it. Moves back down behind Tanner Gray. He'll make it 3 wide off turn 2.
Whoa, that is tight racing off of turn number 2 at Texas, and they stay 3 wide all the way down the backstretch. Up front, though, Enfinger, nobody battling him hard for the lead as they race off turn 4.
Grant Enfinger is going to win the opening stage at Texas, the 11th different stage winner for the Craftsman Truck Series in 2025. Matt Mills finishes 2nd in stage 1. Then Matt Crafton 3rd, Daniel Hemrick 4th, 5th is Corey Heim. Ty Majeski is in the 6th position. Tanner Gray 7th. Carson Hocevar finished 8th in stage 1. Chandler Smith 9th. And there we have Lane Riggs in 10th.
Let's go down to the Infield Care Center with Doug Turnbull.
Standing by here with Brandon Jones here, who is one of several trucks involved in this melee here right before the end of stage 1. As the stage is finished here, Brandon, you had a moment to think about it. Have you seen a replay, and also are you okay?
I saw it pretty good live. I thought, I hate that these are turning into sort of a waste of time. There's a lot of money involved to come out here and race these trucks, and I wanted to come win some truck races for Tricon, and I'm running out of time a little bit, I only have a few more left, and figured Texas was a really good one for us. We actually made a lot of ground up early on in this race. I was pretty happy about the speed that we were showing early on. Kind of a pit stop away from getting it pretty close, I thought, to be able to go and contend for the win. Man, I've seen guys kind of commit to that move, but that was big. Turn down right in the middle of that tri-oval, and it's rained here all day long. So yeah, when you drive through that, you're gonna splash it pretty big. I saw it like last minute about to happen, but it just happened so fast that, man, I could probably go back and look and say maybe I could have anticipated it better and missed it, but it happened so quick in the heat of the moment. It was pretty tough to miss, but I got to switch gears, man. I got to try to get ready for Xfinity tomorrow. We didn't get any track time at all today, and in any series with all the rain, so I really was hoping to make the laps today, and had a lot of people from Amdro come out as well to support us, and so always hate to end early when you have guests come.
Yeah, for sure. Brandon Jones dejected after another bad finish here in the trucks.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Pit road is going to be closed, so we're going to send it to a break here. We'll have to wait and see who, if anyone, is actually going to come down pit road between the caution we had for that incident that they were just talking about, as well as the competition caution on lap 20. A lot of people have already come down for Sunoco fuel and fresh Goodyear tires. We'll be back with more of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series here at Texas Motor Speedway.
125 laps to go, 38 in this stage, as when we return to the NASCAR Racing Network, it should hopefully be more live, as we've just refreshed all of the audio here on JB Motorsports, as Grant Enfinger won stage 1, another 40 lap stage for stage 2, and then we've got an 87 lap stage 3 a little bit later on in this Speedy Cash 250 here at Texas Motor Speedway. And we are getting ready, but let's go down to Caden Honeycutt.
Here at Caden Honeycutt. Caden, I know you're upset after what happened. First off, are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. I can't believe what I just saw. So he's got way more awareness than that. He should know better. He did it the first time. He got really lucky one time. He clipped it pretty hard. And the second time, I just happened to be there on his outside, and he just completely destroyed it, killed our truck, and really disappointment because we got a bunch of people in the sweep. And now we got a wrecked race truck. That truck was really good for us. So we'll have to go build another one and go to Kansas next week and build our momentum back.
And which driver did you get tangled with there that you thought made the wrong move?
17 just flat out drove in the grass and destroyed us. So that's pretty lack of self-awareness for sure.
Caden Honeycutt here, upset with Gio Ruggiero after a bad crash.
Speaking of Gio Ruggiero, I believe Doug Turnbull has caught up with him now at the Care Center. Doug?
He has just walked out of the Care Center. Gio Ruggiero, I know that was a tough lick out there, got down in the grass. What happened that caused that crash?
Yeah, you know, it's just so hard to see the grass here on the front stretch when you're behind other trucks like that, and definitely misjudged it on my part. Really unfortunate for all my guys. We had a really fast truck, and definitely not how I wanted tonight to go, but just got to keep digging and come back stronger for the next one. Yeah.
Do you have some conversations you need to have to calm tempers there?
I'm not sure. I haven't had anybody come up and talk to me yet, so we'll see what happens.
Well, glad you're okay there. Gio Ruggiero, the third driver out of this race.
All right, thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. I mean, that was just a big mistake.
It was, and what's going to make it worse is when he sees the replay again and again and again. That was one of those ones he would love to take back.
Yeah, that is definitely a lifetime highlight reel. Pit road is open. Again, we're not sure how many trucks are actually going to come down because we had a handful come down at the lap 20 competition caution. We had another handful of trucks come down during that last caution for incident, and we now have more coming down, which are being led right now by Matt Mills. We've got Tanner Gray. We also have the number 66 truck coming down as well. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
Yeah, we're down here at the exit of pit road waiting for a couple of trucks to come down here, and right now Matt Mills has made it down to his pit stall. We're also expecting the number 91 truck, and that is Jack Wood coming down. And right now Matt Mills is getting service to his truck. They're on the right side of that truck changing those tires, and now all the way around to the left side, same thing going on for Jack Wood as well. Also it is Cody Dennison getting service to his truck around to the right side, changing those right side tires. Doug Turnbull.
And here watching Tyler Anchoret's pit stop. They have pitted more times than they wanted to because of this continuous radio issue. He already had 2 radios in the truck. Now they're putting another radio inside that number 18 Chevrolet Silverado with a harness on it because he still cannot hear his crew. He is down and away now. Also on my side of pit road from the lead lap, we had Ben Rhodes come in and make a pit stop there. He's been struggling today. Tanner Gray just came in and took on 4 tires at Sunoco Fuel as well.
All right, thank you very much, Brett McMillan. Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Grant Enfinger, who pitted at the lap 20 competition caution. We were wondering, if you pitted then, could you make it all the way to lap 80, which is the end of stage 2? Now that we've had a handful of caution laps, Enfinger's crew chief says they might be able to make it to the end of stage 2, Mark.
Again, I've seen this movie on the Craftsman Truck Series, and I go, why? Hit the fuel. Why?
Track position, Grant Enfinger, the current leader here at Texas Motor Speedway. We owe our local stations a break. From Texas, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Of course, we have Texas this week. Then next week, the Truck Series head to Kansas with a Saturday race for the NASCAR Truck Series next weekend, as ARCA are on the Friday, and then of course Cup as well on the Sunday. Then the week after that, it's another Saturday race for the NASCAR Truck Series, and then the All-Star Open and All-Star race for the Cup Series, both at North Wilkesboro. And then on the big weekend, the Monaco Grand Prix weekend and the Indianapolis 500 weekend, it is Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 with a doubleheader of ARCA and the NASCAR Truck Series on the Friday. The Saturday, the NASCAR Xfinity Series returns. Of course, the NASCAR Xfinity Series have their final race tomorrow before a 2-week break. And then the Coca-Cola 600 on the 25th of May, later this month.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. We will give you a leaderboard update before we start stage number 2 as we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network.
So as we get ready to start the second stage of the Speedy Cash 250 here at Texas Motor Speedway, 4 leaders, 3 lead changes, 3 cautions for 15 laps. Our top lap leader so far, Tyler Ankrum with 24, Lane Riggs with 10, Grant Enfinger at number 9, and counting 3 laps led for Matt Crafton.
That mid-race update brought to you by Wendy's. The Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is the best deal in fast food for a lot of reasons, some of which include a JBC, 4-piece nugs, junior fries, and a small soft drink. Second, Matt Crafton. Third is Daniel Hemrick. Corey Heim is 4th. 5th, Ty Majeski. Carson Hocevar 6th. Chandler Smith runs 7th. 8th is Lane Riggs. 9th, Jake Garcia. Dawson Sutton in 10th.
Nick Sanchez 11th and Bailey Curry 12th. Raja Caruth 13th. 14th, Stuart Friesen. Andres Perez 15th. 16th, Stephen Parsons. Ben Rhodes 17th. 18th, Matt Mills. Nathan Bird 19th. 20th, Jack Wood.
Pat Patterson, that pace truck has its lights off in front of you.
Yeah, and we got the lights on here at Texas Motor Speedway as that sun fades into the west. We're ready to get back after it as the pace truck pulls them right in front of me. Matt Crafton up there with Grant Enfinger. Fans are getting on their feet because we're getting ready to restart.
Kind of looks like Hollywood right now. The sun setting, the lights are on. This is how they would do it. And they throw the green flag again. Second stage underway here at Texas Motor Speedway. Grant Enfinger gets the jump in turn 1.
The lights come on and they instantly look 20 miles an hour faster. Enfinger will lead into turn number 1. Right on his back bumper is Daniel Hemrick to the outside. Bumper of Crafton.
It's a real fight back there, all the way back through about the 15th spot now as Enfinger separates himself from the field by about a truck length and a half, 2 by 2 by 2, all the way back through 10th place.
Side by side, battle for third coming up off of turn number 4. Corey Heim on the outside of Daniel Hemrick, and Heim getting a big push from Chandler Smith into 1.
Points leader and the only driver with 2 wins so far on his resume this season. Heim takes the 3rd spot away from Hemrick. Now he'll set his sights on Matt Crafton and Grant Enfinger.
Hemrick fights back, though. He tries to get right alongside Heim as they work down the backstretch. He'll try to pull down to the bottom of the racetrack. We're talking about the battle for third now. Out front, Enfinger leads them by about 10 truck lengths.
Here's Heim now. He takes over the third spot. He'll set his sights on Matt Crafton. Enfinger, though, continues to lead as they cross the stripe. Rocket back to 1.
This is the strongest we've seen Matt Crafton still early in this race all season long. He has struggled. He's now going to struggle to hang on the second to his flank. Here comes Heim.
Boy, Heim made that look easy, and Crafton's falling back some more now. Daniel Hemrick's going to go to work on him, going to try to take that third spot away. Meanwhile, Corey Heim draws a bead on the leader midway through 3 and 4.
Corey Heim making up truck lengths. It was 3, it was 2, now it's 1. Now on the rear tailgate. Heim looks to the inside as they cross the start-finish line. Now he'll look to the outside and 1.
Corey Heim wants the race lead. Grant Enfinger will try to prevent him from taking it away from him. Truck length of separation. A little bit loose off turn 2 is Grant Enfinger.
Meanwhile, that battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th is really tight as they work down into turn number 3. It's out front. Crafton trying to hold off Daniel Hemrick for that 3rd spot. Right now, Crafton getting the job done.
Crafton holding on to the 3rd spot up front. Enfinger barely holding on to the top spot. Again, Heim closes in turn 1.
Last time Corey went to the top. This time he'll fake it. He'll go to the top and then tuck that truck underneath the left rear quarter panel of Grant Enfinger's machine as they charge off turn 2.
Here comes Corey Heim down the backstretch.
Trouble off turn number 2. We've got a car spinning, and that's the Lane Riggs machine. He backed it up into the wall. I'm not sure if he actually hit the wall right up against it. If he's got any damage, it will be moderate. However, that truck will have to work his way back from the tail end of the field.
Thank you very much, Rob. That is going to be our 4th caution here at Texas Motor Speedway. Right as that was coming out, Corey Heim was taking the lead on Grant Enfinger. When we come back, we'll find out, did Corey Heim get the lead at the last timing line before caution, or did he not? From Texas Motor Speedway, we'll come back with more from the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series.
Get ready.
Yeah, absolutely. As under caution for the 4th time here at Texas Motor Speedway, and this 4th caution, of course, for Lane Riggs spinning out of turn 2. He avoided contact with others and avoided the outside wall. That is from Seth Eggert that I have just seen as well, but let's go to this back screen, and you can see on the right hand side of the screen, just under the yellow and the caution from the laps and rundown, that is every single reason for the cautions we have had today. The first lap of caution, the last lap of caution, how many laps we spent under caution, and the beneficiary, which is what free pass, what car gets. 3 cars out, 5 leaders we've had today, and then on the far right hand side of the screen, that is the current points for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Of course, this being the 8th race of this season, the 2025 season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. Corey Heim is being placed in front of Grant Enfinger, with Matt Crafton has made himself up to 3rd, but Stuart Friesen has made himself up into 6th place. He's been climbing, but Andreas Perez de Lara has made the top 10 in the last green flag run also, as we are on lap 54 with 114 laps remaining here at Texas Motor Speedway.
Back with Truck Series racing at Texas Motor Speedway, and we're under caution again after a spin from Lane Riggs there. He got really tight inside the top 10 with Ty Majeski. Majeski just pitted in front of me there to look at left rear damage and to change left rear tires. Also, Carson Hocevar just pitted from inside the lead lap there, and they're making adjustment under that truck. It looks like they're going to look on the battery there for Carson Hocevar, who have been contending there, Brett McMillan.
Lane Riggs said that he was tight in traffic, and then once he got in clean air, the truck got stupid loose. He has come into his pit stall, and they're going to go change the right side tires first. Take a look at them. Also check everything on the right side. They're going to give him a track bar adjustment, a major adjustment. It was 2 rounds on the track bar. Now they're around to the left side, checking everything to make sure that there's no damage to the truck at this point in time. Wiping off the grill, taking another good look at it, going around, making sure that the sheet metal is not rubbing up anywhere. And once again on the right side, give it another good look over to make sure there's nothing rubbing against the tires before they send it back out.
Taking a look at the replay, going into turn 1, Ty Majeski was trying to pass Lane Riggs on the outside. They wound up with a passenger door up against the driver's door of Ty Majeski's truck. They made contact 3 or 4 times. Lane Riggs, trying to stay off of Majeski's truck, trying not to wreck him, eventually had to spin himself out.
It's a wide racetrack here at Texas, but a narrow racing groove, and that means they have to race very tight here, and when they do, we see incidents like that. Corey Heim is the race leader. We do have that as they come back around. They'll take the 1 to go. Grant Enfinger running in 2nd. 3rd is Matt Crafton. Daniel Hemrick is 4th. 5th is Chandler Smith. Stuart Friesen 6th. 7th, Jake Garcia. Nick Sanchez 8th. Dawson Sutton 9th. And Andre Perez de Lara runs 10th.
Ben Rhodes 11th, 12th Rajah Caruth, Bailey Curry 13th, 14th Matt Mills, Tanner Gray 15th, Stephen Parsons 16th, 17th Tyler Ankrum, Connor Mozak 18th. Now Luke Fenhouse is being scored in the 18th spot, Jack Wood 19th, Frankie Muniz in 20th.
21st is Nathan Bird. 22nd, Cody Dennison. Tony Breininger runs in 23rd. 24th is Spencer Boyd. 25th, Josh Rayum. Lane Riggs is 26th. The scoreboard is actually moving. Now they're showing Ty Majeski 26th, Josh Rayum 27th, Carson Hocevar 28th. 29th is Lane Riggs. Brandon Jones out of this race in 30th, as is Gio Ruggiero in 31st, and Caden Honeycutt will finish 32nd.
So Matt Crafton continues to battle up front. We talked about it early on after Tyler Ankrum broke that 130-race losing streak at Rockingham. Now Matt Crafton, the focus comes on him. 100 races since he's won, so he certainly would love to check off that box.
Yeah, we'll see if we can break one here. Pat Patterson, what do they look like up in 3?
All lined up and ready to go, 2 by 2. It's Corey Heim up here on the front. Grant Enfinger's there. Crafton hanging on to the top 5. And Daniel Hemrick, pace truck, heads to the pit road. We're ready to restart here at Texas.
Corey Heim will lead them into the Echo Park Automotive restart zone on the inside lane. He gets a jump, but so does Grant Enfinger to his outside. Corey Heim getting a big shove from Matt Crafton into 1.
That pair of trucks pounding into the banking of turn number 1. Corey Heim, half truck length advantage, but Grant Enfinger will battle back on the top side. Heim moves him up, and we've got a truck
it's a
wall.
It's a number 77 truck, just hit the wall pretty good. As Andre Perez de Lara got sideways in the middle of 2 and 3 there and contacted the wall. Single car spin.
Made contact with Nick Sanchez. Sanchez jumped out, made it 3 wide as they tried to make their way through the corner. Love to see a replay to see how those two wound up in contact. But again, it looked like the Sanchez truck jumping out to the 3 wide started to create a little bit of chaos back there.
Yeah, and that's tough for Andres Perez de Lara. He had a solid evening going here at Texas Motor Speedway in that number 77 truck from Spire Motorsports. This is our 5th caution of the night here at Texas Motor Speedway. We still have 23 laps to go in stage number 2. Mark, we're not even halfway through this race right now. We've already seen 5 cautions, 3 of them for wrecks, 1 of them for a stage break, plus we had our competition caution at lap 20, and it goes back to what we were saying before this last restart. This is a very wide racetrack with a very narrow racing groove. You got to be careful, you got to be on your toes, and if someone just takes a little bit of air off of that big rear spoiler right off the back tailgate of these trucks, you're going around. And I think we've seen a lot of that.
We've seen 3 crashes, 2 of them big. I mean, we had the Gio Ruggiero crash with Brandon Jones. That last wreck for Perez de Lara, that was a big impact as well. That truck is going to be out, no doubt about it.
Doug Turnbull, that truck is in front of you on pit road.
Well, the first thing they did is change right side tires because they're flat. I did hear the team come over the radio and said they think they're done, but that was before the pit stop. They're checking the rear end of that tailgate. It was all bent up after that wall contact there, and they're still working and looking on that before they make that decision. A NASCAR official is watching over that, and he is down and away here, but it looks like he's making the slow turn. Yep, into the garage area.
Nick Sanchez is a lucky man. Got away with that one. He was 3 wide, as I talked about, and it was Andre Perez de Laura that lost control of his truck, slid up the racetrack, and Sanchez able to just barely sneak by, and it became a one-truck incident. Could have been more.
Yeah, 3 wide going into turns 1 and 2. Again, this is the shallow side when it comes to the banking here at Texas. From overhead, Texas looks like it's even on both sides, but it's not. 20 degrees of banking in 1 and 2, 24 degrees of banking in 3 and 4. Doug Turnbull has another update from pit road.
And you were mentioning Andres Perez's crash there in contact with his teammate, the 07 of Nick Sanchez, who's coming down from the Xfinity Series and has a really good track record here at Texas. The team just told Nick Sanchez that his left side looks good after that contact there, so they're not worried about a tire going down or anything, and at least for now, he has not pitted with pit road closed.
22 to go in stage number 2, Mark. We're going to get a restart. We know that. Pit road is open right now. What we don't know is anyone going to come down. Another thing we do know, Grant Enfinger, who is going to be very close on fuel, well, I think with these last 2 cautions, they're probably going to be good to make it to the end of stage 2. The question is, can he get around race leader Corey Heim the next time through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone?
And again, remember that final stage is 87 laps. That plays into the strategy of who may pit now. The green light is flashing. We don't really see any takers at this particular point. You know, Nick Sanchez, every time he comes to Texas and races the truck, something big happens, right? You go back a couple of years ago, Carson Hocevar takes him out. He loses the race on the last lap. So Sanchez gets bounced around here a little bit at Texas. Maybe he gets more positive outcome later on today.
Hey, remember, Nick Sanchez, no longer a full-time driver in the Craftsman Truck Series. He is in the Xfinity Series, driving for Scott Borchetta and Big Machine Racing. And the laps here tonight are probably going to be very valuable for tomorrow when he starts the Andy's Frozen Custard 300.
No question, again, because of practice and qualifying being wiped out today for the Xfinity Series as it was for the Craftsman Truck. Any laps are good laps, and he's really done a nice job. I think he's been pretty solid on the Xfinity Series this year. Doesn't always get the kind of finish, maybe shows how well he was running, but that team, of course, part of the campus, if you will,
welcome
at One Welcome down there in RCR land, down near me. That's in my home territory, about 3 miles away. That team certainly has found some solid footing, no doubt about it. Parker Kligerman did a great job for him this year. Nick Sanchez has picked right where he left off.
Yeah, and I think you have to give a lot of credit to that One Welcome, both on the Cup side of things and the Xfinity side of things. Collick Racing, Daniel Dye, and Christian Eckes, they've been very strong this year. Josh Williams a part of that team as well. On the Cup side, we've seen A.J. Allmendinger with several top 10 finishes, and it's been a great run for him. Ty Dillon probably having a career year for him as a Cup Series driver. He's been a part of the conversation much more in the top 15. And, of course, on the Xfinity side, for Richard Childress Racing proper, we've seen both Austin Hill and Jesse Love in victory lane. And I know a lot of people wondering if Kyle Busch on the Cup side can break a big winless streak, or Austin Dillon, who's been a winner here at Texas Motor Speedway as well.
You better believe that Kyle Busch is determined to get that win. That's for sure. Just turned 40. Man, does that make me feel old.
Yeah, happy birthday, Kyle Busch,
happy
today.
Birthday, Kyle Busch, today. And I think I met him for the first time when he was 15 or 16. Makes me feel old.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, he's been pretty incredible here at Texas, actually, with the first Cup start as well as multiple trips to victory lane. All right, we've got him side by side behind that pace truck midway down the back straightaway. We're going to restart stage number 2 with 19 to go. Corey Heim leads Grant Enfinger, Daniel Hemrick, Matt Crafton, Chandler Smith, your top 5 right now. And Pat, not only are the lights on, but the sun is fully down here in the Lone Star State.
Yeah, it's turned out to be a really nice evening for the folks that are sitting in the grandstand here tonight. Appreciate all of them buying a ticket and coming out and supporting truck racing here at Texas tonight. Field's all set for another restart as they work their way through 3 and 4. Corey Heim in the blue and white number 11, the yellow and black number 9. That's Grant Enfinger. We're ready to turn them loose one more time here at Texas.
So 19 laps to go here in stage number 2 once they take the green flag as they once again make their way to the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Green flag is out. Daniel Hemrick is pushing hard on the back of the Corey Heim truck, trying to push him to the lead in turn 1.
To no one's surprise, Hemrick will try to get around now Grant Enfinger and give chase to Corey Heim, whom he pushed to the race leader side by side for second.
Corey Heim out front, battle hard for second right now. Chandler Smith drawing a bead right on that group as well. Midway through 3 and 4, Heim's out front by about 5 truck lengths.
Grant Enfinger able to clear Daniel Hemrick. That was a battle for the runner-up spot as Corey Heim leads Enfinger. Then it's Daniel Hemrick, Chandler Smith in a battle for 5th.
And Heim is under pressure into turn number 1. Probably thought he had cleared everybody. Grant Enfinger had another thing in mind. Now Enfinger is looking in his rearview mirror because Hemrick is right there.
Daniel Hemrick now pulls his truck to the inside, driver's left of Enfinger. Enfinger's going to try to hold on to the outside. Chandler Smith is right in that parade as well. They stay side by side. Now Enfinger gets out in front.
Behind that group, it is also Stuart Friesen, Jake Garcia battling back there. Again,
trouble on the front straightaway. Lane Riggs gets hit to the inside of Luke Fenhouse. Riggs now goes tumbling through the grass. The second time for Lane Riggs in an incident. Caution number 6 on the racetrack now.
And he put a big divot in the grass, and just as we saw with Gio Ruggiero, when that truck dropped into the grass, took a big chunk, the nose got caught and tore that truck, the left front of that truck, to pieces, and it looks like Lane Riggs is going to be knocked out of this race with all that damage. As he got in the grass, you can see this big, huge hole that he dug. Again, it's very wet and soggy as it got across there, and watch as it goes into the grass. Right here, we're watching a replay, and dips in there and finds a hole, bam, and lifts the whole truck up in the air. It became totally airborne for a split second.
Yeah, part of the nose of that truck ripped off. We'll see what they can do, if they can make repairs under the damaged vehicle policy clock, and we'll come back with more as we have 16 to go in stage number 2 at Texas.
You know, absolutely, and I believe I have synced up the yellows and the greens, so hopefully the flags won't start flashing yellow like 35 seconds before the radio actually mentions the yellow. But so the delay has been synced with 103 laps remaining here round Texas Motor Speedway for the Speedy Cash 250 here on JB Motorsports. And it is Corey Heim, Grant Enfinger, Daniel Hemrick, Chandler Smith, Matt Crafton, Stuart Friesen, Ben Rhodes, Jake Garcia, Dawson Sutton and Raja Karoof. Your top 10 here in Texas as the sun has set, the lights taken over with 15 laps to go this time by in stage 2.
Sunoco fuel all the way to stage number 2 after he had pitted just after the lap 20 competition caution. Tonight's broadcast brought to you in part by Sunoco. From NASCAR to your car, Sunoco fuels peak performance. From Texas Motor Speedway, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
Back at Texas Motor Speedway, under caution late in stage 2, with Lane Riggs brought the caution out, going through the grass and leaving a big divot. Right now, they're trying to get his car back behind pit wall. I'm taking a look at it as it goes past me, and it is seriously damaged. But the interesting thing is, it's all body damage at this point in time. Now, of course, I'm looking at the engine, and I can see the radiator is all cockeyed. And Lane Briggs, they're taking out the steering wheel. The window net is down, but he hasn't gotten out of the truck yet. But the wheels are still rolling, and he is now actually, he has gotten out of the truck. And so they're headed back to the care center with him, but the truck is absolutely just, the front end is just mangled. And we can see the serious damage. So Lane Briggs done for the night. And it was a sad thing because he had a great run going as he heads off to the care center and his truck heads back to the truck.
There's not enough Band-Aid and baling wire to put that truck back together. He got pushed in there to the grass by Luke Fenhouse. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
And Luke Fenhouse was that driver there who said he just didn't expect to be in the side of that truck. They came to pit road there and changed some tires there. Might have been a little bit of tire damage in that melee. There's also just been heebie-jeebies inside these trucks that sat around in this moist weather all day. Last pit cycle around, Carson Hocevar had to come down to get his battery, the battery panel tightened because they replaced it earlier. And now Tony Breidinger, who's a lap down, she's getting her battery replaced under the left rear of her car. So a lot of radio, voltage, battery issues tonight, guys.
That attrition. Hey, it's all part of it, whether it is mechanical or whether it is incidental on the racetrack. And Mark, you brought up a big stat before. Been 25 years since a Ford has won here at Texas. One of them just got taken out of the race, and we've got a couple of Fords still running in the top 5 with Chandler Smith and Matt Kraft in 4th and 5th. Let's go back to Doug Turnbull.
And Ty Majeski into pit road here has been running well tonight. Had a long stop on the right side of the car there, and Carson Hocevar almost got into him as he got into his pits there. Hocevar's in for pit to pit road as well. They just changed 4 tires and fuel and are down and away.
All right, thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Appreciate that. You know, this could be another strategy play as well, Mark, because right now, as we look at it, we have 100 laps to go total in this race, 13 to go in stage number 2. But with 100 laps total in this race, Mark, they're only going to have to come to pit road one more time before this race is over. So could be a good strategy play to gain track position after the stage 2 brake pit stops.
What always makes this interesting is you don't know how it plays out until there it is. Everybody's made their final stop. You see the track position, but certainly, again, going off script. Some of these teams trying to find themselves in a better spot when we get down to the clutch period of this race here in just a bit. And again, total darkness now at Texas Motor Speedway. This place is lit up. The Truck Series, very competitive race at this point. 5 leaders, 4 lead changes, 6 cautions. And they have been there are some tough, ripped up trucks. And that, again, the Lane Briggs truck, again, the divot's got to be about 2 feet deep. It is a huge divot. And again, as you come across the grass is level, but it has been raining. It is so soft. These trucks are very heavy, obviously. If you hit a little bump and it sinks in, it's just going to keep sinking until it just tears the truck apart.
Yeah, we have literally had torrential rains here in North Texas pretty much for most of the spring, but just this week alone, Wednesday was one of those days where the warnings were coming through, stay in your house. I had a neighbor, my next door neighbor, had a bunch of tree limbs break over on his tree. I actually saw the tree service there today. I'm not sure if they ended up taking the whole thing down or not, but that's how much it's rained here. We want to invite you to join us tomorrow as the Performance Racing Network will have your coverage of NASCAR Cup Series qualifying for the Worth 400. We go on the air tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and then at 1:30 Eastern Time, the Andes Frozen Custard 300. Ross Chastain will join Mark and I up here in the booth for that broadcast. Looking forward to it. And then Sunday, the Worth 400, 2:30 Eastern Time. The Performance Racing Network goes on the air for the NASCAR Cup Series race, and it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of action here from Texas Motor Speedway. By the way, today, the mayor, Fort Worth, put out a proclamation. Sunday, we're going to rename Fort Worth to Fort Worth, but it's Worth as in our sponsor, W-U-R-T-H, instead of the Fort Worth, W-O-R-T-H.
I like it. It works.
Oh, pure genius. It's pretty awesome.
All right, 1 to go. When they come back by, it'll be 10 laps to go in stage number 2 of the Speedy Cash 250 Craftsman Truck Series race here at Texas Motor Speedway. Corey Heim, your leader. Grant Enfinger second. Daniel Hemrick third. 4th is Chandler Smith, Matt Crafton 5th, Stuart Friesen 6th, 7th Ben Rhodes, Jake Garcia 8th, 9th Dawson Sutton, Rajah Caruth is 10th.
Luke Fenhouse is having to get pushed by a tow truck around the racetrack. They're midway on the back straightaway. We'll see if he can get back to pit road before we have to come back to green. To continue our rundown, running 11th is Tyler Ankrum. Bailey Curry is 12th. 13th, Frankie Muniz. 14th is Jack Wood. 15th, Ty Majeski. 16th is Tanner Gray. Carson Hocevar runs 17th. Connor Mozak in 18th. 19th is Nathan Bird. Stephen Parsons runs 20th.
21st now is Josh Rayum, Matt Mills 22nd, Nick Sanchez 23rd, Cody Dennison in 24th, Nathan Boyd 25th, Luke Fenhouse being scored 26th, Tony Breitinger -1 in 27th. The rest of these trucks are all out. These drivers are on the sidelines. Lane Riggs will get credit for 28th. 29th is going to be Andre Perez de Laura, 30th, Brandon Jones, Gio Ruggiero 31st, 32nd, Caden Honeycutt. And the lights are back on. The Chevy Silverado pace truck. We'll do it one more time as they're still trying to get Luke Fenhouse to pit road.
Yeah, so tough for him, but that was the right call. He was about midway through 3 and 4, still on the apron as the field was coming around, not able to hit the Echo Park Automotive restart zone this lap. When we hit it the next lap, we're going to have 9 to go in stage number 2. Remember, at the end of stage number 2, points will be awarded. The winner of stage 2 gets 1 playoffs bonus point. Also 10 points awarded extra for the race. Runner-up in stage 2 will get 9 points, third, 8, and so on down through the top 10. So they're racing for something here, and that's the green and white checkered flag with 9 to go when we restart.
You never know if you need a point or two when you get down to the end of the regular season. You're trying to make the final cut, and so every point important during the regular season. So if there are stage points to be had, you need to go get them. Right now, let's go down to Doug Turnbull.
All right, here to get a quick word with Lane Riggs just out of the care center after a crash into the grass there. Lane, what happened and how are you?
Yeah, I'm just not quite sure. We weren't working too great together with the Fords tonight. Got back from a bad pit stop early, and then me and the 98 got to racing, and he just cut me so tight down in 1 and 2. I know it's a narrow track, but man, it gave me just no room. Got 3 up under him, spun. Coming back through the field right there and got up under the 66 clean, and I was under him at least 2-3 seconds off the corner to be able to call me inside and just push me all the way down to the grass, and that's that splitter's ripped off.
Tough break there for Lane Riggs. Done for the night as we're about to go green here in Texas.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. We appreciate that. Tough break for Lane Riggs, who led laps early in this race and had a very, very fast race truck. The pace truck is now making that hard left turn onto pit. Outside gets a push from Chandler Smith.
What are the chances we can go green to the stage end? Who knows? Big move on the outside. Chandler Smith gets Grant Enfinger back to the lead, and now Corey Heim will have to fight for second.
And that battle for second is a good one. Enfinger's out in front now. Here comes Smith to the outside, trying to work his way around Heim. Stuart Friesen's in the mix here as they get together and run off hard off turn 4.
Corey Heim hanging tough. Now he slides up the racetrack, nearly makes contact with Chandler Smith. Behind him, Hemrick and Friesen door-to-door with Garcia right there as well.
All this side-by-side working to the advantage of race leader Grant Enfinger. 3 truck lengths his advantage over a side-by-side duel between Heim and Chandler Smith.
That battle for second is a good one. Corey Heim to the inside, Smith to the outside. They stay locked together, door handle to door handle, as they race into turn 3. Here's Enfinger with a good 8 truck advantage off turn 4.
Ford of Chandler Smith on the outside, the Toyota of Corey Heim. Now Corey Heim, Stuart Friesen right behind him. Friesen will try and help Heim as they head to 1.
Bottom lane to the advantage of Heim. However, you got to get up to that middle groove. Clear the guy in front or beside you. Finally, Corey will get that done off turn 2.
So Heim has the second spot there. Smith slides back. That's where Stuart Friesen's trying to get another spot here. Remember, points on the line as they race into turn 3 and 4. Here comes the leader off of turn number 4, Grant Enfinger.
Let's see if Corey Heim now can track down Grant Enfinger. They cross the stripe. 6 laps left now in stage number 2.
The gap entering turn number 1, about 3 truck lengths. That's what Grant Enfinger enjoys over Corey Heim. Both of them right to the bottom of the racetrack, side by side, fight for fourth. Now Daniel Hemrick will take that spot away from Friesen.
Top three trucks separated pretty equally. The battle is for Stuart Friesen to try to get around Daniel Hemrick as they race into turn 3. Meanwhile, Corey Heim pulls up tight to the leader.
Corey Heim wants to win stage number 2. It'll be 5 to go, this time by right on the rear tailgate of Grant Enfinger. He looks high, now he looks high into 1.
Corey Heim led at the green flag. However, immediately he got pushed behind Grant Enfinger's machine. Now they're side by side off 2.
Here comes Corey Heim trying to take the lead here at Texas to get this stage win. Bottom of the racetrack he goes. He gets the lead. Meanwhile, Smith pulls up, and he wants that second spot from Enfinger now off turn 4.
Top 3 trucks have now pulled away from Daniel Hemrick. Corey Heim out front for the second time tonight. Enfinger tries to claw his way back to the top spot.
This stage is certainly not settled yet. Grant Enfinger still just a truck length back of race leader Corey Heim. Another truck length and a half back to the third place machine of Smith. Now he closes on Enfinger.
Corey Heim is pulling away from the field now. Here comes Chandler Smith. Bottom of the racetrack into turn 3. Enfinger slides up. Easy pass for Smith. He picks up the second spot in his number 38.
3 to go in stage number 2. Heim has stretched out his lead. Chandler Smith now running in second. Then it's Grant Enfinger, Daniel Hemrick, and Stuart Friesen.
They're tightly packed behind race leader Corey Heim as he continues to stretch it out. Second place is Smith. 2 truck lengths up on Enfinger. Another couple back to Hemrick.
Top 10 cars now, pretty separated, single file down the backstretch here at Texas Motor Speedway. Corey Heim leads the parade. Bottom of the racetrack he goes. Midway through 3 and 4. Here comes Heim off 4.
Corey Heim with a big lead out of turn number 4 across the start-finish line. Just 2 laps left in stage number 2.
The dominant guy for much of this season. He's got 2 wins, but we've discussed that ad infinitum. He could have had several more. He's dominating here as we come to the end of stage 2.
Down the backstretch, here comes Heim one more time. He's way out in front in that lead. No battle for position here through the top 8 trucks. 9 trucks now going into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Heim off turn 4.
1 lap to go here in stage number 2. Corey Heim takes his Toyota Tundra across the start-finish line and rockets back into 1.
The advantage for Corey Heim over second-running Chandler Smith is stretched now to about a dozen truck lengths, and that's about the same gap as Smith has over the third-place machine of Enfinger.
Like I say, looking for a battle for position anywhere in that top 10, which would register some points. Not going to see anybody with that opportunity into turns 3 and 4. Here comes Corey Heim with the lead.
Corey Heim will win stage number 2 here at Texas Motor Speedway, his 5th stage win in 2025. Chandler Smith, 2nd place in stage 2. Grant Enfinger 3rd. Daniel Hemrick 4th. 5th, Stuart Friesen. Ben Rhodes 6th. 7th, Jake Garcia. Tyler Ankrum 8th. 9th is Ty Majeski, and Matt Crafton fights off Raja Caruth and Carson Hocevar to finish 10th.
There will always be more leads.
Top 10 then from stage 2 just given there. And the rest of the stage classification, you can see it on your screen, but it'll be read out in a few moments' time. 87 laps to go. And that is the distance of stage 3. 7 cautions, which you can see the reasons for, and all the free passes, and all the first laps of caution, the last lap of cautions, and all of the reasons, what cars are out, how many leaders there has been, and all of the current points with all of the summary info as well on the right hand side of the screen with the laps and rundown. And, well, the out list has been growing gradually. But we are getting ready for pit road opening momentarily. As under caution, we're just getting pit road ready and all the cars and trucks where they need to be. Radar is still clear for anyone who is tracking any possible pop-up showers that have not appeared, because there was a 40% chance of rain for this race that hasn't come true, as it all passed later on. There is the full laps and rundown screen for you to have a look at with all of the laps and run down information on. Not many lead changes. Only 6 lead changes between 5 leaders, with the number 11 truck leading the most laps. 27 laps led for the 11 truck. 18 truck has led 24 laps. The 9 truck has led 18 laps. And the 34 truck, which is now out, has led 10 laps, with the 88 leading 3 laps with 85 laps to go.
Welcome back to Texas Motor Speedway. As we have completed stage number 2, we have 82 laps complete, 85 to go here in the SpeedyCash.com 250. Stage 1 winner was Grant Enfinger. Stage 2 winner, Corey Hyman. Pit road is going to be open. The pace truck has him in turn number 3. Pit road is about to get very, very busy, Mark Garrow, and these are going to be some crucial ones. We do know they will have to stop at least one more time in the final stage of this race after this round of pit stops.
Again, it becomes a chess match at this point so that you make the final pit stop and you've got good track position. You've given yourself a chance to win. We already see a couple of different strategies at play. We'll have to see what everybody now pulls out of their bag. The pit lane is open. Looks like it's going to get really busy, Doug Turnbull.
And necessary pit stops to make it on fuel here. And Ben Rhodes pits for the 6th position here. They started 28th. They want a nice solid pit stop here to keep that track position. Stuart Friesen's in for the 5th spot too. And next to me here we've got Daniel Hemrick, who has a lot of handling issues on the truck. Still running at the top 5. A little bit slow on the right-hand side as they swing around and change the lefts. Brett McMillan.
Corey Heim said the truck is neutral in 1 and 2, and he feels pretty good at 3 and 4. No adjustments at all as they're now on the left side. Put the tires on that truck, drop it, and he peels out. Good solid stop. Meanwhile, Grant Enfinger wants air out of the right front and the left rear, 1 pound each. They're taking care of that and sending him back out.
So as they come off the pit lane, Corey Heim, the first in, first off, then Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, Matt Crafton, Grant Enfinger, Jake Garcia, Ben Rhodes, Tyler Ankrum, the first 8 off the pit lane. However, need to also mention a number of trucks did not pit.
Let's go back down to Doug Turnbull.
All right, interesting stuff here. Daniel Hemrick, who's been solid in the top 5 most of the evening there, at one point fell outside of the top 10, though. They came down pit road. I thought it was going to be a normal pit stop for handling adjustments, but a gun broke, the team just said, and so that's why their pit stop lasted over 30 seconds, and then they swung around to the right side of the car to make sure the tires were tight after that. So Daniel Hemrick's losing all that track position here at such a critical juncture.
Very much so. Mark mentioned a lot of trucks didn't pit. That's because the last caution for the Lane Riggs incident, we did have some come down pit road. As soon as they cycle back across the start-finish line, we'll be able to give you an update on that and who is running where. This time by trucks that are a lap down or more are going to be open to pit road. But, hey, this is the strategy we talked about during that last caution flag for the Lane Riggs incident. This could set them up for some great track position here in this final stage because everyone will have to pit one more time.
And again, at this point, it's, again, maybe the first truck to make the last pit stop, to get out there. I think that's the strategy some of these guys are going to try to employ. And it looks like Ty Majeski, one of those trucks that stayed out, is now going to be our leader. Carson Hosevar, Connor Mozak, Tanner Gray. Mozak and Gray, we haven't talked about them at all up front all night long, but there they are. Stephen Parsons now in the 5th spot. So those are the trucks that stayed out, trying to give some track position. And again, they will have a chance to certainly split the 3rd and final stage in a way that will leave them plenty of fuel tires to get to the end.
Yeah, again, a very wide racing surface here, but a very narrow racing groove. It's hard to get around trucks, but you can do it because we've seen several drivers move up through the field. Carson Hosevar's moved up 17 spots. Stephen Parsons moved up 16, as has Josh Rayum. But right now in this race, we've had 6 different leaders of the race. Corey Heim has led the most laps at 28. Tyler Ankrum led the first 24 laps of the race. Grant Enfinger's been out front twice for 18 laps. Lane Riggs led 10. He's now out of the race. Matt Crafton has led 3. 7 cautions for 34 laps here in this race. 1 was actually for a competition caution. Then we had a stage 1 break, a stage 2 break. But the other 4 cautions, not just for incidents on the racetrack, Mark, for big incidents on the racetrack.
These trucks have been tore up. Lane Riggs' truck, Gio Ruggiero, all these cautions of the trucks that are still out there, all 26 are on the lead lap.
For the best deal of all time, got to be Wendy's.
A JBC, Junior Bacon Club.
Junior Bacon Cheeseburger.
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, Laura Beth, our director, and I were talking about college days. And for me, down at Sam Houston State University in Huntsville, Texas, as I was on my way to go work at Thunder 101.7 overnight, I could swing through Wendy's. I could get a Junior Bacon Cheeseburger, fries, and those were not the Brad Baxter days. Those were the Dylan Hunter days. And a nice Coca-Cola soft drink, all for $3.21.
You got to add a Frosty. I mean, at some point, you just got to go there.
Oh,
with your biggie bag, you got to get a Frosty.
Yeah, there's really not much that beats the Wendy's Frosty. All right, we are still under caution here for the end of stage number 2 as we're all making ourselves really hungry here. We're about to start the final stage of this race. As Mark mentioned, Ty Majeski is the race leader, running second. After a battery change is Carson Hocevar. Connor Mozak is running third. Tanner Gray is fourth. Stephen Parsons runs fifth. Those cars pitted on the caution before the end of stage 2 at the Lane Riggs incident. Pitting at the end of stage 2, running sixth, stage 2 winner Corey Heim. Seventh now is Chandler Smith. Stuart Friesen is eighth. Ninth is Grant Enfinger. Matt Crafton is 10th.
11th is Ben Rhodes. Jake Garcia is 12th. Tyler Ankrum 13th. 14th, Rajah Caruth. Bailey Curry is 15th. 16th is Jack Wood. Nick Sanchez 17th. 18th, Dawson Sutton. Matt Mills 19th. 20th, Nathan Berg.
Frankie Muniz running 21st, having a great night here. Cody Dennison 22nd. Spencer Boyd 23rd. 24th is Josh Rayum. Daniel Hemrick is 25th after making 2 trips down pit road. Tony Breininger is 26th. 27th, Luke Fenhouse. He is out of the race, as are the rest of these trucks. Lane Riggs will finish 28th. 29th, Andres Perez de Lara. 30th will be Brandon Jones. Gio Ruggiero 31st. And our 32nd and last finisher will be Caden Honeycutt.
So when they take the green flag and even 80 laps to go in this race, as we've talked about, 7 cautions for 36 laps, and it has provided a lot of action, certainly a lot for the fans to see with those big crashes, and now we have 2 different strategies at work to see how it plays out here at the end.
If it played out green, Mark, I want to say it would just be a perfect thing to split the stage, 40 laps and 40 laps. If it played out green, all the way to the checkered flag in this one. Based on what we've seen so far, not sure if that's going to happen, but what I am curious about is to see how much this track can widen out. The pace truck is about to make that left turn onto pit road. They're going to hit the Echo Park Automotive restart zone. Race leader Ty Majeski will start from the bottom lane to his outside. It'll be Carson Hocevar. Majeski gets a big jump and a big bump from Connor Mozak.
Ty Majeski, of course, the defending series champion, will begin stage 3 with the race lead. Side by side for the second position. To the inside of Connor Mozak. To his flank, it's Carson Hocevar.
Majeski with the lead now, midway down the backstretch. Carson Hocevar working out next to the wall in that second spot. Those trucks dive down into turn number 3. Everybody trying to sort it out behind there. Here comes the 98 off turn 4 with the lead, Majeski.
Carson Hocevar, the 2023 truck winner here at Texas, trying to take the lead, but he's also trying to hold off Connor Mozak.
Well, once he cleared Mozak after racing side by side, he'll immediately go to work on the race leader. He looks to the outside of Ty Majeski off turn number 2, but Majeski slides up in front.
Majeski's got the lead by about a half of a truck length now as they race into 3. They get down to the very bottom of the racetrack. Hocevar now pulls away, just holding on to that second spot over Mozak.
This is a 3-truck, maybe a 4-truck battle for the lead. That's where Corey Heim runs right now. Ty Majeski leads, but Carson Hocevar weaving all around.
Boy, Carson Hocevar really trying to worry race leader Ty Majeski. Don't think that's going to work for him. He's got to find a way around. And Heim now goes to work for third.
Corey Heim is in the hunt now as he gets back up to the bumper of Connor Mozak, working down into turns 3 and 4. That's the battle for third and fourth position. Meanwhile, up front, Majeski by about 2 truck lengths.
Remember, because of strategy, Corey Heim's tires are 16 laps better than the 3 trucks up ahead. Majeski continues to lead.
Best racing up front we've seen all night with 4 trucks battling for that top spot. Once again, Hocevar goes to work on Majeski. Once again, Majeski shuts the door.
Out, Majeski throws the block. That moves Hocevar to the bottom of the racetrack, and he's got to go because Mozak is right there trying to make a move as he gets right to the bumper. Corey Heim now to the outside. The battle is for third.
Corey Heim took advantage of Connor Mozak ducking low to get around Carson Hocevar. That opened the door for Corey Heim. Move Heim up to the 3rd spot, and now here comes another.
We've got 6 trucks now in this lead pack. The leader still, for the moment, is Ty Majeski over Hocevar. Heim now will go to work on Carson.
Tanner Gray up in the mix. The battle, though, for second as they rage down the backstretch here in Texas. It's Heim to the inside, trying to hold off Hocevar. Hocevar now, no match at all, slides back into that 3rd spot. Heim hunting the lead.
Tanner Gray has moved up to the 4th spot. Here are the lead machines. Majeski, Heim, Hocevar, Tanner Gray. Stuart Friesen now has moved up to 5th.
Gray struggled in the first run this evening, but the truck now much better for him in that 4th spot. With fresher tires, Corey Heim probably will make pretty quick work of race leader Majeski.
Up front right now, Heim with trying to make his move on Majeski coming into turn 3. Bottom of the racetrack they go. Heim peeks to the outside now, uses the middle of the racetrack. He'll be short by about a half a truck length off of 4.
Off of turn number 4, still Ty Majeski. Corey Heim chasing him, running in 3rd. Carson Hocevar, hearing he's still having electric issues with that truck.
We thought a second full groove might come in, but still it's pretty precarious if you get off that bottom lane. But Corey Heim will do it again. Majeski slides right up in front of him off turn 2.
Right behind that group, a good battle's going on. Grant Enfinger, Ben Rhodes is in the middle of that one as well. Up in front, Stuart Friesen. The top 3 now only separated by about a truck length off 4.
Again, Corey Heim in the tire tracks of Ty Majeski as they exit turn number 4. Tanner Gray trying to make tracks towards the front, but beginning to lose ground to the lead trio.
That 4 to Ty Majeski has gotten really wide the last several laps in turns 1 and 2. Heim must be very, very cautious if he's going to try to make that pass.
Cautious, a good word there, Rob, to use. He also can just take his time. He knows he's got better tires. He works the middle of the racetrack now, midway through 3 and 4. Heim in the 2nd spot behind Majeski.
Ty Majeski, though, trying to take away that tire advantage that Corey Heim has. How long can he try and do it, though? Heim right on his tailgate as they head to 1.
Good point, Brad. He's making Heim work those tires awfully hard, and he may use up the goodie on them before he gets around. This time off turn 2, Heim is there. He'll draw even.
Not even a fight for Corey Heim as he moves carefully around Majeski. He takes the lead now. Heim drives it down into turn 3 and 4. A 2-truck advantage he has over 2nd place. But Mozak holds on in that 5th spot.
For the 3rd time tonight, Corey Heim is back at the point as Majeski now has his hands full with Carson Hocevar.
Single file among the top 6. The top 3 have a race of their own up front. Heim begins to pull away. Second is the battle. Hocevar closes on Majeski.
Whatever problems Hocevar may be having is right now he's challenging for that 2nd spot. He pulls right to the tailgate of Majeski, and they'll race hard into turn number 3. Heim stretches it out about 8 truck lengths out in front.
Corey Heim continues to stretch out that lead, but Carson Hocevar keeping Ty Majeski honest. This battle for 2nd now as it hits the start-finish line continues into 1.
And they will race for that 2nd position about 4 car lengths ahead of truck lengths ahead of the 4th place machine. That is still Tanner Gray, side by side for 2nd.
Hocevar out in front by a nose there for the battle for 2nd place now. Majeski will fall in behind him while Corey Heim is driving away from both of them in the lead position off turn 4.
Still 69 laps to go here in the Speedy Cash 250 at Texas Motor Speedway. Your leader is Corey Heim.
Get ready.
With Hocevar, Majeski, your top 3, 68 to go, lap 100 of 167 here at Texas Motor Speedway, and this is the battle of 3rd, 4th and 5th of Majeski, Tanner Gray and Stuart Friesen as they cross the line once more as we cut to the gold 100 years Napa livery, and this is the number 91 and the 13 side by side with Hemrick in the Napa just ahead of this battle. Down in towards turn 3 we go for the next time. And the 13 gets ahead to take that place away. Corey Heim leads with 66 laps to go. Still Hostvar and Majeski, your top 3. But Tanner Gray is looking to take the 3rd place away from Majeski. Will he go low in towards turn 1? He's looking to go low. Here comes Stuart Friesen. Stuart Friesen looking to go around the outside, but it's all single file for now. Stuart Friesen down the inside now. Possibly looking, and Stuart Friesen down the inside, down the backstretch. They're side by side, Stuart Friesen and Tanner Gray. And Stuart Friesen gets his truck's nose ahead. And Stuart Friesen takes away 4th place away. But here comes Rhodes. And Tanner Gray in 1 lap drops 2 places as Ben Rhodes and Tanner Gray side by side as they go in towards turn 1. On lap 104 of 167. Still side by side as they head in towards turn 2 now. Tanner Gray gets his nose in front and keeps that position. So Heim, Hostvar, Majeski, Friesen, Tanner Gray and Ben Rhodes.
We're back at Texas Motor Speedway in the 3rd and final stage of the Speedy Cash 250 here at Texas Motor Speedway. Mark Garrett with Brad Gilley high atop the racetrack. Turns 1 and 2 is Rob Albright, Pat Patterson in turns 3 and 4. Our pit reporters tonight, Doug Turnbull and Brett McMillan.
Mark, let's talk a little bit about Corey Heim. I'll tell you what, he's driving a Toyota Tundra for Tricon Garage. Every Toyota Tundra worldwide is made just 4.5 hours south on Interstate 45 in the Alamo City of San Antonio, Texas. And I have to say, of the thousands of Texans employed at that plant, they have to be very proud right now of Corey Heim. He's led 3 times now for 37 laps. And when he takes that lead, he takes it with authority. When you talk about a craftsman who's getting it done, I don't know that Corey Heim's looking back.
And he's been doing it all year. 2 wins, 2 poles, 4 top 5s, 6 top 10s in the opening 7 races of the year. It's why he's leading the points. It's why he's the only multiple winner at this particular point in the Craftsman Truck Series. So tonight's just kind of a snapshot of what the whole season has looked like for Corey Heim.
Yeah, and that is our craftsman who's getting it done. Your yard isn't overgrown. It's just ripe with potential. Conquer whatever it throws at you with the Craftsman V20 brushless RP outdoor lineup. More runtime, better performance, and fewer frustrations. See craftsman.com for details.
I believe Doug Turnbull would like to add to our Corey Heim story.
Oh, for sure, because when Corey Heim was able to finally get around Ty Majeski, it took a long time, and that's because this racetrack's about a groove and a half. You really have to get a run on somebody to be able to make the pass. And now Ty Majeski's got a really tight race truck, and he's back in the 3rd position, about 5 seconds behind the leaders. Stuart Friesen, the 99 of Ben Rhodes, and the 15 of Tanner Gray have all tried to gang up on Ty Majeski and get past him, but we've seen this many times before, guys. He's kind of created a slow train right there and is maintaining that 3rd spot.
Stuart Friesen, though, however, has just barely moved around him as you were speaking, Doug, so move him up to that 3rd spot. Ty Majeski back to 4th. And, Brad, no matter how it turns out for Ty Majeski tonight, it's a step in the right direction. He's had 4 races where he hasn't been top 10. The last 2 have been DNFs. So Ty Majeski would just take a finish tonight somewhere in the top 10 if he can get it.
And based on those finishes, Ty Majeski started this race in 24th. And give him a lot of credit, racing his way up to 4th right now. He's had a very strong truck, but what they need is a good, honest day that takes him all the way to the checkered flag with the top 5 truck in as many spots as he can grab.
It looks like he is going to lose another spot. That is going to be Ben Rhodes slipping by. So Rhodes now in the 4th spot, drops Ty Majeski to 5th.
All right, the field now is running down the back straightaway. Corey Heim has such a lead over Carson Hocevar. He's in a spot all on his own. Stuart Friesen running by himself in 3rd right now. We have 59 laps to go to be 58 this time by, getting closer and closer to pit stops here in our final stage as well, as we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Corey Heim is trying to ride off into the sunset, using a term here that's probably been used in Texas 1,000 times. He is now over 3 seconds ahead of Carson Hocevar, and you look back to third place Stuart Friesen, and Friesen at this point 6.7 seconds back.
Yeah, we were talking about Ty Majeski. He's starting to lose some ground. In fact, Rob, he's under heavy pressure from Grant Enfinger.
Yes, he is. Grant Enfinger goes to the bottom of the racetrack behind Chandler Smith. He opens the inside lane, does Enfinger, and the 88 truck of Matt Crafton gets underneath him. Yeah, that was a really tight group of trucks running together. They're led by Stuart Friesen. Now they've all kind of separated out. Majeski's under fire by Chandler Smith going to the line.
Let's go down to Brett McMillan.
A few updates from my end to pit road, Brad. First of all, for our leader, Corey Heim, you're telling him that 1 and 2, he's running really, really well. 3 and 4, yeah, he's running even right now, so they're all happy with the way that truck is running. Chandler Smith said in dirty air, he is absolutely horrible. That's the way it feels, at least, from inside the truck. Said it's killing this lateral grip. And Grant Enfinger says that he really lacks grip in the turns, especially 1 and 2.
All right, we have 55 laps to go as Corey Heim has a 3.1 second lead over Carson Hocevar. Stuart Friesen runs third. Ben Rhodes is fourth, and Tanner Gray fifth.
With Chandler Smith, Matt Crafton, Nick Sanchez, Grant Enfinger, and Stephen Parsons rounds out your top 10. But looking down, Ty Majeski is currently side by side, and it's of course the number 98 and the 18, Tyler Ankrum. Ty Majeski side by side down in towards turn 1, and it's Ankrum who has got ahead by multiple truck lengths now. But here comes the 42 straight up the inside of the number 98, backs off for a moment, but we cut back up further up the field, and that is with Garcia and Hemrick for 16th and 17th place. Currently 16th, started third is the number 13 truck of Jake Garcia with 52 to go. Lap 116 of 167 of the Speedy Cash .com 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series at Texas Motor Speedway.
Back straightaway, got into his rear bumper, loosened up Majeski, and almost took him out of the race. Majeski now has dropped down to the 11th spot. He was leading this race not too long ago, Mark.
The Fords are not playing nice with each other at all, and Majeski didn't cut Riggs a break, and at that point, we certainly saw Chandler Smith. He didn't cut any slack whatsoever to Ty Majeski.
Yeah, we'll see if Ty Majeski comes in this time by as the leaders race their way around the track. We have 51 laps to go here. Should they split this stage, that would be about in another 10 laps. But after Majeski got loose, certainly wants to see if they want to make another adjustment on the truck. He does not come down to pit road, so we owe our stations a local break. From Texas, this is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
And getting very close into the rear bumper, that is the number 98 once again of Majeski down in 12th place, and he's slowing. He's very loose and he's slowing down. Very loose down into pit road, but he gets it stopped, and down into pit road goes the number 98 of Ty Majeski. Corey Heim on the number 11 truck is exiting turn 2. Now down towards the backstretch. We pick him up once again on the off-board camera. And now we pick up the Chevrolet truck of Carson Hocevar, who is currently second. He started 19th, the number 7 truck, who also comes down pit road, but a much calmer entry into pit road for Carson Hocevar.
Green flag pit stops have begun here. Green flag pit stops have begun at the end of this Craftsman Truck Series race at Texas Motor Speedway. Ty Majeski has just pitted. He had restarted in first place, fell outside the top 10. He's got a little bit of right rear damage. A long pit stop there for the Thor Sport team as he's finally down and away. As Stephen Parsons now pits here for the lead lap. He's going to take 4 tires in his final stop.
All this happening with 47 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. Corey Heim now enjoys a 5.6-second lead over Carson Hocevar, who has just come on to pit road. As he does that, we'll go down to Brett McMillan.
And Connor Mozak has come in. They're going to give him 2 rounds of the track bar. And they're having some trouble on the right rear. Finally, they get that taken care of, give him the track bar adjustment, and now they're around to the left side. Doug Turnbull.
Tanner Gray having a career night here. Pitched from inside the top 5. They're changing right side tires, swinging around to the left, plugging in a second can of Sunoco fuel as Carson Hocevar ahead of him has a really long pit stop there as he's been having voltage issues all night. He pitted from the second position. They're both down and away.
So Tanner Gray again trying to come up to speed, getting down pit lane. Now we see Chandler Smith hit pit lane. Matt Crafton also getting ready to make what they hope to be their final pit stop of the night. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
And Chandler Smith makes his way down pit road towards his pit stall. Matt Crafton also on his way. Chandler Smith comes into a stop. Remember, he said he needs more lateral grip, especially in dirty air. They're around to the right side of his truck. Everything going well. Give him a small track bar adjustment. Also in Matt Crafton having a really good run. He's had a lot of success here at Texas Motor Speedway. Left side jacked up, left side tires going on. Meanwhile, finally Chandler Smith pulls out, and then there goes Matt Crafton.
So the good news for Stuart Friesen, he's moved up to second. The bad news, he's 12 seconds behind Corey Heim.
That's nearly half a lap. Corey Heim just crossed the start-finish line. We have 44 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. Stuart Friesen, well, he just now crosses the start-finish line, and that is a big advantage right now for Corey Heim, who has yet to pit. And again, if they were to split this stage, they would still be coming in here in about 4 laps. But now that the cycle is open, we see more, including Grant Enfinger, who brings his number 9 Chevrolet onto pit road to get his final service. Brett McMillan.
Yeah, Grant Enfinger said that truck has just been too loose. He needs that thing tightened up a little bit. He's had a good run for most of the evening. He comes to a stop in his pit stall. They're around to the right side. Truck jacked up, putting on those right side tires. Small track bar adjustment for him. Good smooth stop so far as they come around to the left side. Everything going well as the Sunoco fuel goes in. Left side tires goes on, and he heads back out.
So Corey Heim leading this race has yet to make his pit stop. Looks like Tanner Gray is coming back onto the pit lane. Looks like he may be serving a speeding penalty as he's working a pass-through at this particular point. We've got 42 laps to go in this race, and again, Corey Heim is all by his lonesome out front. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
And the 4-tire pit stop underway here for Ben Rhodes, who's driven for the back of the field inside the top 10. They swing around to the left side of the car, then plug in that Sunoco fuel can. No big complaints from Ben on the radio there. A little bit slow there on that left front stop as they try to get it squared away. They clean the grill, and he is down and away right in front of me.
Thank you very much, Doug Turnbull. Bailey Curry also on. Mark, I'm watching Carson Hocevar, who did come in and got fresh tires. His last lap was a 30.2. Corey Heim leading this race. His tires about 40 laps older than Carson Hocevar. He ran a 30.375, only a 1/10 of a second advantage in short pitting right now. That's not going to be enough to make up the ground of Corey Heim, who now comes down to pit road. Here comes our leader with 41 laps to go as we go to Brett McMillan.
Crew is at the ready. It's the money stop for them. Time for them to show what they've got as Corey Heim pulls his truck into the pit stall. Around to the right side, crew goes, tear off the front of the truck. Left side, right side tires are on. They come around to the left side. Everything going well. No changes at all as this truck has been excellent for most of this evening. And finally, a little bit of trouble on the left rear, and he heads back out. Doug Turnbull.
Tyler Rankrum has come to pit road, taking a 4-tire stop. He's had to lose track position through the night. He's had to change radios. Daniel Hemrick had to pit 3 times under the last yellow. Major chassis adjustment right now as he's changing 4 tires. An extra long stop of both of these as they're trying to make their last adjustments here. And Stuart Friesen, he now pits in front of me. He has been complaining of a tight condition. He was in the second position there. They took the lead after Corey Heim came to pit road. They're Change of the right side tires now to the left-hand side. No major chassis adjustments. A windshield tear off there on this number 52 Halmar Toyota as he is down and away. Stuart Friesen having a great run. Who's won here at this racetrack.
Once Corey Heim came in, everybody else had to follow, and they needed to do it in a hurry or they were going to lose even more ground. For Corey Heim, he came in with a 12-second lead. That's a great cushion to have to make your final pit stop. And right now, we're in the midst of our longest green flag run of the night. 44 laps and counting, and that certainly has brought a lot of different things into play here and has made the strategy kind of simple here in this final stage. Get to a point where you've got enough Goodyear tires and Sunoco fuel to get to the end, and that's it, period.
Rajah Caruth currently leading this race over Jake Garcia. Nick Sanchez came into pit. He actually overshot his pit box, and they had to pull that truck back to get it in before they could do service. Frankie Muniz currently running in the third spot as well, Mark. So these trucks, they can still stay out. They do have enough Sunoco fuel to go maybe another 10, 15 laps or so. Maybe they want to see what happens and if it tightens up the field just a little bit. For what it's worth, Corey Heim currently running in the 6th position right now. And in spite of pitting under green, Corey Heim has not lost a lap, even though trucks have stayed out on the racetrack. That's what an advantage he had. And boy, is he in a tussle right now with a lot of trucks out there on the track.
He's like a Pac-Man, Pat Patterson, just gobbling them up on the backstretch.
Yeah, well, I mean, that truck has just been so darn good all night long. He can drive at will and pass at will, and that's exactly what he's doing. He works his way back to the front.
And here he comes across the start-finish line again. Corey Heim running now in the 5th spot as he was able to get around Nathan Bird. Rajah Caruth and Jake Garcia, the 2 leaders of this race, they have not yet come on to pit road. Rajah Caruth leading Jake Garcia only by 0.2 of a second. They cross the start-finish line right now, and they're headed to you, Rob.
Watch them dive into turn number 1. To the top of the racetrack goes Jake Garcia, tries to get the outside of Rajah Caruth. They're battling for the lead. Of course, this is not going to be much of a fight for the lead momentarily.
Garcia now kind of slows just ever so little going into turn number 3. Still holds on to the lead. Garcia right at the bottom of the racetrack as Stuart Friesen works his way around Garcia. Now, here goes Rajah Caruth to the pit road.
That turns the lead over to Jake Garcia, and it also allows Stuart Friesen to make up a lap. Let's go to Brett McMillan.
And Rajah Caruth making his way down pit road. He's about 2/3 of the way down pit road. He's got the veteran crew chief, Bono Mannion, on the box. So we'll see how this works out. Good Colin pull into the pits. Not too close. Right side tires going on for Rajah Caruth. Everything going smooth so far. Coming around to the left side. No chassis adjustment for him at all. Left side tires going on. This stop looks good and solid. Everything good. 14.8 second stop for Rajah Caruth's team.
Corey Heim was able to get around Frankie Muniz, who is not pitted yet. So this is going to move Corey Heim up to the 2nd spot. Once Jake Garcia pits, that will cycle Corey Heim back to the lead. This Toyota Tundra of Corey Heim, Mark, has not only been strong, but now it's been able to flex some muscle and show some real strength here.
Everything going his way right now. He's got everybody handled behind him. The guy up front has to pit, has to give up the lead at some point. Corey Heim looking very strong here in the closing stages of this race, but we still have 32 laps to go.
We do. Carson Hocevar, who was running in 2nd when he came on to pit road, is now running behind Corey Heim. A 5-second deficit. Remember, Corey Heim, before Carson Hocevar came in, had about a 5-second lead. Hocevar pitted about 5 laps before Corey Heim, was able to make up about 1/10 to 2/10 of a second a lap, and now that is stretched out to about 5 seconds. Frankie Muniz comes to pit road. Also, now we have our race leader, Jake Garcia, coming in to get the final service. This will cycle Corey Heim back to the lead at Texas as we go down to Brett McMillan.
And Jake Garcia has the number 1 pit stall long way down pit road. He finally comes to a stop at his pit stall. His crew was at the ready. They come around to the right side, and we'll see how well he does. He's been relatively happy with this truck. It's just a little bit loose in this last run. They finish on the right side, coming around to the left side. Everything's smooth. Sunoco fuel going into Jake Garcia's truck. They're finishing up. A little bit of trouble on the left side, especially on the left front. Finally, they finish up and send it back out. A 19.5 second stop.
So Corey Heim is out front. Carson Hocevar 5.7 seconds back. And then you have Chandler Smith better than 15 seconds. And now we're seeing just 9 trucks left on the lead lap. A torrid late race pace here in the third and final stage from Corey Heim. On top of the fact, we've gone green the whole way.
Yeah, Nick Sanchez, by the way, as I mentioned earlier, when he came onto pit road, he overshot his pit box. They had to pull that truck back. Well, the problem just got worse because when he exited pit road, Mark, he drove through too many pit stalls and just had to serve a pass-through penalty. Again, Nick Sanchez full-time in the Xfinity Series now for Big Machine Racing, driving that number 48 for Scott Borchetta. Getting some extra lap time here tonight, so not a big consequence for him in points. That he has to worry about tomorrow in the Xfinity car. But in this truck here tonight, getting some very valuable lap time. And that lap time, or those laps made, also happened on pit road. It's a very valuable lesson learned for him here tonight in the truck.
Get it out of the way tonight. Tomorrow it means a whole lot more for him on the Xfinity Series, where he's had a pretty strong start to 2025. Let's go back down to Doug Turnbull.
All right, a big turn here for Carson Hocevar, has made a step down here into the Truck Series, at the track in which he first won 2 years ago. That number 7 truck has had battery issues all night. It changed at one time. It continued to lose voltage. Now he is about to pit. The truck is losing power, and he's coming to pit road to put another battery in. Carson Hocevar was in second place, 5 to 6 seconds behind the leader, Corey Heim, and here late in stage 3, he's coming to pit road. In fact, here he is right in front of me now. He slows down to pit road speed there in that number 7 machine, and he's going to go to the service of his crew out of contention for tonight. Let's see what they do at the rear of the car. They're going to put a battery in as they take off the left rear tire. That is indeed what they're going to do here. So Carson Hocevar watches the field go by and his chances to win up in smoke.
So the only truck that could even remotely see the tailgate of Corey Heim is out of this thing. Chandler Smith now is the second place truck, 16 seconds back, 17 back to Friesen, almost 19 back to Ben Rhodes in fourth, and 23 seconds back to Grant Enfinger. Matt Crafton in sixth, the only truck now left on the lead lap, 27 seconds back, and that's nearly a whole lap.
And the next time by, we will have 25 to go, where anything can happen here in the Lone Star State. We'll be back with the conclusion of the SpeedyCash.com 250 right after this.
25 to go here at Texas Motor Speedway for the SpeedyCash.com 250. Heim, Chandler Smith, Friesen, Rhodes, Enfinger, Crafton, Ankrum, Cruz, Parsons and Curry, your top 10. And we have had an incident in pit road between the 7 and the 5, with a little bit of a collision, and that has stopped the number 7 of Carson Hocevar getting out of the pits, which was mentioned a little bit earlier on, moments ago, on the NASCAR Radio Network. But we are 3 wide with 24 to go. 3 wide for a moment with the 13, the 33 as well involved in that.
Getting a fresh battery, he exited his pit box. As he did that, Tony Breidinger was driving to his outside. She's had problems, has been on and off pit road all night long. Well, she made a left turn to go behind the wall just as Carson Hocevar was exiting his pits. They told Hocevar to wait, but he still ran into the side of her before being able to get back out on the racetrack. When we come back, we're going to take you to the checkered flag from Texas Motor Speedway. This is the NASCAR Racing Network, home of the tough trucks of NASCAR.
22 laps to go here in Texas, and it's still Heim, Chandler Smith, Stuart Friesen, Ben Rhodes, Grant Enfinger, your top 5, and well, 16 seconds between first and second. That's a big gap around Texas. It's a big gap around any circuit. If it's an oval or road course, 15 seconds is a massive, massive gap. With 21 laps to go. And we crossed the line one more time. So now 20 to go. And the caution is out. The timing screens flash yellow, and we are under caution, and that is because I believe the number 33 has been involved in an incident. Yes, it has. The 33 truck, its front right wheel is all buckled, and that's Frankie Muniz.
A 15-second lead for Corey Heim has gone up in the smoke that's trailing behind the truck of Frankie Muniz as he comes to pit road after Rob Albright contact up there in turn 2.
Yeah, Frankie got up into the wall, rode it through turn number 2, tried to get it pulled off the wall, but the damage was enough. He lost a few parts and pieces off that car, necessitating that caution flag. Everybody wanted to see that happen, with the exception of one guy, and that's Corey Heim.
Yeah, that truck of Frankie Muniz just completely pancaked on the right side. Mark, what did I say before we went to commercial break? Anything can happen here in Texas, and it just did.
Wow. Again, Corey Heim still has the truck to beat, but his job just got a lot tougher.
Yeah, Corey Heim. Now, it got a lot tougher, but on the good side, only 6 trucks are on the lead lap. Corey Heim is the race leader. Chandler Smith runs in second. Stuart Friesen third. Fourth is Ben Rhodes. Grant Enfinger fifth. Matt Crafton in sixth. The only trucks on the lead lap right now.
So if you have a set of tires, since there's only 6, if you're Corey Heim, do you come on in and get some fresh sneakers?
The problem is they had 4 sets of tires coming into this race. They started with 1 set.
Okay.
Oh, actually, they had 5 sets for the weekend.
Right.
And so that means they have an extra race set than what they would have had.
That's all. That's my point.
Yeah, no practice in qualifying, so they did not use a set of tires. Frankie Muniz hops out of his truck, which is a shame. He was actually having a pretty decent top 20 run here tonight, and would be really nice to see him be able to kind of close the deal on one of these. Unfortunately, that is not going to happen. And by the way, that's another blue oval with some trouble here tonight.
That pre-race thing might have put the whammy on them. That little note, they haven't won since 2000. Greg Biffle, Texas? Wow.
All right, well, pit road is open this time by. We do hear we're going to have takers. We have 19 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway. We're going to find out just how important some Goodyear tires are and see if they get topped off with Sunoco fuel. Mark, remember, there is a good possibility that this race could go beyond the 250-mile advertised distance with some overtime. We don't know what's going to happen as the pace truck takes the field through. Our race leader is going to dive onto pit road. It's going to be a while before we see the next truck because he had a 10-second lead and a lot of lap traffic between Corey Heim and Chandler Smith. And why not take the opportunity? So let's go to Brett McMillan first.
And Corey Heim has come in to stop in his pit stall. They've gone around to the right side of the truck. They're going to do it one more time, give it up the track position. Right side tires are on. They're coming around. They're going to give him a 4-tire change. Also coming in, the number 88 truck, that is Matt Crafton. He's coming in as well, and he's going to get at least right side tires and a track bar adjustment. Yep, giving him left side tires, 4-tire change for Crafton as well. Doug Turnbull.
With so few trucks on the lead lap, it made sense for second place Stuart Friesen to come into pit. He took 4 tires. They put the tires up on the wall, and right when he was about to enter pit road, he says, I need to be freed up a little bit so I can attack. They quickly changed tire pressure on that, managed to change those and had a solid pit stop. Right behind him was Ben Rhodes, who also pitted from inside the top 5. Another 4-tire change here, making that last run to the checkered flag to see if they could catch Corey Heim.
Brad, you mentioned the possibility of going to overtime. Well, the last 21 Truck Series races have ended at the scheduled distance. That's the longest streak ever without an overtime finish in the Craftsman Truck Series. The last time we went to overtime, Darlington, May 10th of 2024.
Wow. Anytime you have a late race restart, though. Right now we have 18 laps to go, and it does not appear that they're going to get the one to go this time by. We'll see if that flag is tightened up there in the flag stand. It is not. It is just hanging out. So cleanup happening all around the racetrack with the Frankie Muniz incident. So they got a lot of parts and pieces to pick up. Brett McMillan.
All right, I'm here with Scott Zipadelli, crew chief for Corey Heim. And first of all, why give up the track position and come in and pit right now?
Well, there's only 6 trucks on the lead lap, so no sense not pitting. 20 to go, fresh tires. Yeah, I mean, if we didn't pit, somebody else did. Who knows? They can make their truck better. So we figured we'll drag them on down with us.
You guys have been very good on the long run so far tonight. How much confidence do you have in your driver the rest of the way with 2 wins already in the bank this year?
I have all the confidence in the world in him and this whole organization. Not so much about the guys who are around. So, you know, when you're, who knows what they're going to do? They're going to start pushing and shoving on this restart, try to get a good run. But hopefully we can get clean air and just drive away.
Appreciate your time. Thank you.
I love the strategy, Scott Zibidelli. Sometimes people overthink it. If you got the best truck, act like you got the best truck. We got the best truck. We're going to put on fresh tires. You have any chance to beat us, you better come down pit road, get them, follow us. If you don't, we're going to get you anyways.
Mark, there were so many lap cars in between Corey Heim and second-place Chandler Smith coming onto pit road. They could have changed 4 tires, put fuel in, and had a bar of ice cream while they sat in the pit box and still won the race over. All these trucks you hear coming around right now are taking the wave around. We have 12 trucks that are eligible for the wave around, so that's going to put now 18 trucks back on the lead lap here of this race, and we have 1 to go. We're going to restart with 15 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway, and this is going to be a good one with Corey Heim leading the way.
So again, all those trucks that just waved their way through are going to be on much older tires. They will be no threat to those guys who just pitted for the fresh tires. And again, we'll have to see if Enfinger, Friesen, Rhodes, Smith, Crafton were able to make the adjustments they needed to make.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Corey Heim leads Grant Enfinger. Stuart Friesen runs in 3rd. 4th is Ben Rhodes. Chandler Smith is 5th. 6th is Matt Crafton. Tyler Ankrum 7th. 8th is Rajah Caruth. Stephen Parsons is 9th. And Bailey Curry rounds out the top 10.
Daniel Hemrick now 11th. 12th, Matt Mills. Jake Garcia 13th. 14th, Connor Mozak. Wood. Tanner Gray 17th. 18th.
To go to the rear of the field to serve a penalty on that restart. So that's going to make things, I don't want to say easier for Corey Heim. You know why? Because Grant Enfinger, who's led twice for 18 laps here today, is actually going to restart next to Corey Heim. Pat Patterson, how are they looking?
Yeah, and Enfinger's had a good truck tonight. I don't know if he's been good at the 11, but he's had a good truck tonight. He will line up right beside Corey Heim. Stuart Friesen is right there, that number 99. Ben Rhodes is there in that second, and Chandler Smith is there also as the lights are still on the truck. They're going to lead them around one more time here before we get going.
All right, thank you very much, Pat. We still have Frankie Muniz truck on pit road. It has a wrecker hooked up behind it, so I'm sure they're going to work to get that clear as well and make sure they have everything right with the restart lineup. Again, Matt Crafton having to drop to the back to serve a penalty.
So again, want to remind you, tomorrow it is the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 here at Texas Motor Speedway. Practice qualifying rained out today like it was for the Craftsman Truck Series. So Austin Hill, the Talladega winner, will start on the pole.
Austin Hill, Justin Allgaier starting on the front row. Improper fueling for Matt Crafton is the reason for the penalty. So once again, the lights are out on that pace truck as they make their way around. So now, Mark, we're going to restart this race with 14 laps to go. And we saw how intense it got before the end of stage number 2. We saw stage number 1, the same thing. This one's for the big prize. The trophy, by the way, it actually looks like it's got the Speedy Cash logo and everything on it. It looks like a piece of currency, like a $100 bill or whatever it is on there. It is actually a really cool-looking trophy.
Worth more than money to the guy who gets it.
Absolutely. Could be worth a playoff spot.
Yeah, so it would be worth money. Yeah, just kind of indirectly worth a lot of money, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, Pat Patterson, one more time.
Yep, we're ready to go. It's how much do you want it time. Corey Heim's the guy you're going to have to beat, and the number 9 Grant Enfinger starts alongside of him. There's Stuart Friesen, Ben Rhodes, Chandler Smith, and that 07 truck of Nick Sanchez. They're ready to race again for all the marbles now.
Into the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. 14 laps to go. If you're going to get Corey Heim, you better get him now or he's going to get gone. They're back in 1.
You're right, Mark, because if he struggled at all, it's been on restarts. He'll lead them into turn number 2. Stuart Friesen pushing for all he's worth. Enfinger hanging on to second, but Friesen wants that spot.
Corey Heim now by about 2 truck lengths out in front of the field as he pulls the field down into turns 3 and 4. Friesen is right there, only 1 truck length back, and it's Enfinger to the outside as they race all 4.
Corey Heim has never won at Texas. Stuart Friesen has. He did it 3 years ago, but he's in a side-by-side battle for second. Grant Enfinger on his outside door.
But Corey Heim is not pulling away. They're still within 1 truck length of the race leader. 4 trucks right behind him, and they are battling for that second spot.
Oh, man, they are getting after it here. Texas Motor Speedway as they head down to the end of this one. Enfinger to the outside in that second spot. Friesen to the inside. Chandler Smith is there as well. Tight racing. And now Heim gets Chandler Smith, Enfinger into the wall along with Stuart Friesen. Both of those trucks battling hard. Got sideways into each other and launched off of the turn 4 wall.
Looks like Stuart Friesen lost control of his truck, and that catapulted him up to the outside, catches Chandler Smith. Both of those trucks destroyed.
Oh, that is a tough one here. All of this happening now with 12 laps to go here at Texas Motor Speedway, and that was a big hit into the outside retaining wall for Stuart Friesen as they're making their way around the racetrack, and a really tough one. In fact, Stuart Friesen's truck, it looks like it's going to come to a stop at the entrance of turn 1, and that was Grant Enfinger, who he was in that incident with as they were going into turn number 3. Friesen was on the inside of Enfinger, just tight racing, taking the air off of each other. Stuart Friesen on the bottom got loose, got up into Grant Enfinger. Enfinger got into the wall while Friesen was sideways, T-boned by Chandler Smith. A little damage to the front end of Chandler Smith's truck as well. These are 3 of the 6 trucks that were still on the lead lap before that last caution.
What a tough hit. We have seen some major impacts in this Truck Series race tonight here at Texas Motor Speedway. Stuart Friesen, I think, has bent and dented everything in that truck but the roof. Got every single corner on that truck. You see him in the corner. He got loose. He chases up the racetrack, catches the left rear of the Grant Enfinger truck. Then Chandler Smith, no place to go. But that Stuart Friesen truck is absolutely tore to pieces. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
And Stuart Friesen there, after hitting the wall, of course, let out, and a word I won't say, very upset there. Second race in a row where he had a good run going and a crash taking him out there. And of course, he had some words after Rockingham there about wondering why he does this anymore. He took those back a little bit when speaking this weekend, but he also got groaned on the radio a little bit. The team was worried about him. He got his breath and just said he banged his knee in that hit there. He is stopped in the top of turn 1, going to get out of the truck and done for the night after running inside the top 5.
Thank you very much, Doug. It sounds like NASCAR is going to put the red flag out. Stuart Friesen's truck is kind of in a precarious spot. It's up against the wall heading into turn 1. It's actually parallel with the exit of pit road. That's where it is in that little short chute from the dog leg heading into turn number 1. And you have 2 trucks on pit road with Chandler Smith and with Grant Enfinger as well. In fact, let's get more on that with Brett McMillan.
Yeah, Grant Enfinger is still here on pit road, Brad. They are using a lot of work on this truck to cut away as much as they possibly can, especially on the right rear. It is really all crumpled up, trying to cut away as much sheet metal as they can. NASCAR officials now motioning basically take it back to the garage is basically what they're saying right now. They were cutting away sheet metal, but it looks like they're going to push it back to the garage area. Chandler Smith has been here. They've already done a lot of work on the right side of that truck, mostly pulling and tugging on the sheet metal to try to get it away from the wheels as much as possible. But Enfinger's still here. They spent a lot of time looking up at the right front. And once again, I said NASCAR officials looking at the truck are doing some motioning like, I don't think you can fix this. Take it back. So the crew is still looking at it, and NASCAR officials still looking at it. So we'll see how it ends up. But the way the NASCAR officials have been acting, I think Enfinger may be done for the night.
Need to mention that Stuart Friesen gingerly got out of that truck. You could tell he was kind of favoring his leg. He talked about banging his knee, but that was a very tough impact for Friesen, and that wreck happened there in turn 4, and he just kind of carried the wall almost, as you mentioned, Brad, to turn number 1, and it almost looked like he didn't have any brakes at that point, just kind of coasted to a stop. I mean, if he had brakes, he would have stopped it surely a long time before that. So tough break for Stuart Friesen. I mean, he was digging hard, man. He was going for it. Closing stages of the race, just a little bit too hard. Let's go now to Doug Turnbull. Doug?
And standing here, Frankie Muniz has just exited out of the care center. And Frankie, I know it's been a tough few races here and another hard hit. Tell us what happened from your vantage point, sir.
No, just the right rear just exploded going into turn one and hit the wall. Just something out of our control again. It keeps biting me. I don't know what I have to do, who I have to, I don't know. I don't know what to do anymore. I'm trying to stay positive because I'm here learning, but when you don't have like the personal wins, even for the team works so hard, and we're really fighting. And the fact that we don't get out and go, oh, that was a great race, it's hard, but we're going to keep coming back, but mentally it's been really, really draining, to be honest. So,
do you feel like the fact that you're up inside the lead lap and at one point in the top 10, were there any wins there before the issue?
Oh, 100%. But we've had that a few times this year, right? Atlanta, we were running 9th or 10th, and 20 laps to go, got wrecked. You know what I mean? Like, I need those finishes. For me personally, for the team, for all of us, just to keep us kind of going, keep us fighting, keep us excited for the next one. When you keep having these knocks, it's tough to take. I constantly ask myself, like, is this what I'm supposed to be doing? Am I in the right series? Am I, doing what I'm supposed to do? And it's hard to, say, yeah, it is when you just keep taking the hits. But I'll be at Kansas. I'm excited for Kansas, one of my favorite tracks, and hopefully we'll have some good luck there. I don't know.
Thank you, Frankie, for talking to us. Yet another driver here with a lot of emotion in the care center tonight.
If anybody doesn't think that man doesn't take this serious, just listen to that interview again, because it's gut-wrenching when you put in the time that he puts in, the team puts in, to have those problems kind of stacking up on each other, one after the other, and you desperately just need one finish, one time where things just kind of go your way.
Yeah, that is really tough. Mark, Ben Rhodes right now is being shown second on the scoreboard. Ben Rhodes started this race 28th. We talked in our pre-race show. He actually started this race behind the cut line, 12th in the standings. Where he runs right now, and that doesn't matter until the checkered flag flies, but where he runs right now, he would be back up into playoffs contention in 10th. We still have 11 laps to go here at Texas. Anything can happen, as we just saw.
Okay, so that gives us the now, the current, right? But it's been 41 races since he last went to victory lane. This is a winner. This is a champion. Is he going to be hungry, lining up beside Corey Heim? Oh, yes, he is going to be the junkyard dog in the bone. We'll see what happens.
They've refired the engines here for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, as we have been under a red flag condition, and that is for the wreck with Stuart Friesen, Grant Enfinger, and Chandler Smith. A lot of cleanup on the front straightaway. Mark mentioned he thought maybe Friesen might have lost his brakes. Some fluid was dropped on the racetrack because they put a lot of speedy dry pretty much from the exit of Turn 4 all the way up against the outside safer barrier, all the way to where Stuart Friesen's truck was stopped on the racetrack, right at the part of the track where you also have the exit of pit road. So that was a lot that was dropped down.
Yeah, all I know is if I hit that hard in the wall, I'd want it stopped as quick as I can. So if Stewart could have stopped it, I think he would have stopped it a long time before he reached that part. What a tough break. I mean, Friesen, he's a former winner in the Truck Series here at Texas. And, again, it came down to that point where you got to go for it, right? And he was hammered down, and he just lost the nose of the truck, and when he tried to chase it up the racetrack, got into Enfinger. Enfinger got part of the wreck, but basically, Stewart was going so fast, he just blew by that truck right into the wall. And then he gets hit, as you talked about, in the driver's door by Chandler Smith, who had no place to go at that point. So just a tough impact all the way around for Stuart Friesen. The wall, getting hit in the driver's door wasn't a huge impact, but look, it's in the driver's door, man. You're going to feel it.
Speaking of the wall, they actually were out there repairing some of the outside safer barrier, as it has a little bit of a hole in it. They were out there with a grinder. Not sure if they're going to need to weld a panel to that or not. We are back under yellow. The trucks are rolling, but they were grinding on the safer barrier in turn number 4 as well. So right now the pace truck is taking them very diligently through that section of racetrack, which is in turn number 4. And once they get that repaired as well, we'll be able to go back to green. So once they cross the start-finish line, and they're going very slowly right now. They don't want to run as many laps out, or they want to try and minimize the laps that they're running out while we're under caution here It'll be 10 laps to go this time by as we sit under caution. But that's going to need some repairs after this race here tonight, Mark.
So Ben Rhodes has had one of those kind of up and down yo-yo kinds of seasons. 20th getting caught in the final wreck at Daytona, 7th at Atlanta, 14th at Vegas, a DNF at Homestead, back-to-back 5th places, Martinsville, Bristol, DNF at Rockingham. Now he's back up front challenging for a win at Texas. Yeah, it's been a roller coaster for Ben Rhodes. Let's go back down to Doug Turnbull.
And here with the driver involved in the last caution, Stuart Friesen, I know another dejected feeling after a good run, but also I heard you heard a little bit on the radio there. How are you feeling now?
No, I'm fine. Just bummed we just got loose under Grant there, and you situation, and sometimes it sticks and sometimes you lose the air, and I just lost the air and wrecked it. So this is what it is.
I heard you say you wanted them to loosen you up in the last run. Could you attack so you could attack? Did that adjustment have to play into that?
It could have. I don't know. I think I just I got in there hot and tried to correct and overcorrect, and I just lost it. So just a bummer.
He'll come back at Kansas there. Stuart Friesen ends on the hook tonight.
Thank you very much, Doug. Mark, you gave a phrase before we went back to green. This is the how bad you want it time. Or Pat Patterson talked about that up from turn number 4. Well, we saw how bad Stuart Friesen wanted it. Like he said, this isn't the time of the race where you lift. And unfortunately, it didn't stick.
Well, sometimes at this point of the race, you drive up to the edge, and sometimes you don't get away with that little bit more over the edge, and that's where Stuart Friesen found himself. And a tough break. That's a team that desperately needs a win. We're seeing a few takers on pit road. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
For sure here. So what we're seeing on pit road is cars that were lapped down and don't have to give up a whole lot of track position, like the 18 of Tyler Ankrum, who's battled radio issues all night. But of my drivers on the end of my end of pit road staying out includes Stephen Parsons, who's up to 4th now in the Young's Motorsports truck there. Brett McMillan.
Yeah, Chandler Smith has come back in. They're once again checking the right side of that truck to make sure that there are no rubbing on the tires after he was involved in that wreck. So they're checking once again just to make sure everything's okay, putting some fresh tires on there and sending it back out. Doug Turnbull.
Yeah, some of those other drivers on the back end of pit road include that 99 of Ben Rhodes. And down to the care center here, we were waiting still for Grant Enfinger to come out. We'll have him here in a second.
All right, thank you very much. Ty Majeski, another one of the trucks that came back down to pit road. He had some issues early as well. And, Mark, as you were talking about, there were a lot of trucks that waved around on that last caution. They did not come to pit road, and an opportunity for them to get a little bit of service here before the end of this race.
Yeah, maybe if they have one last set of tires left over and just sort of get themselves in position. Should we get to overtime? And as we talked about before, it's been a long time since we've had an overtime, going back to Darlington, May 2024 for the Craftsman Truck Series. I just find that so hard to believe. As hard as these guys race at the end of these races for this series, the fact that we haven't been overtime that long, it's could change tonight, no doubt about it.
Yeah, they're still welding and closing up a hole in the safer barrier up in turn 4. Pat, that is literally right beneath where you stand.
Yeah, I'm watching these guys, and they are really, really working as hard as they can. They got a couple welders out there, NASCAR officials. I think they got it buttoned up. Looks like they're putting the welder back on the trailer, so I think we're going to be able to get this wall at least repaired enough to finish this race right now. All the officials are jumping back into the vehicle, so we should be ready to go here shortly.
Awesome. Thank you for that, Pat. And you have to fix the safer barrier. You can't wait until after the race. They put a patch on it. They welded a steel plate there. They can go back and do more permanent fix on that once this race is over, but you cannot leave that with a hole in it. So they got that welded and fixed up for the conclusion of this race.
It might be a 1 in a million shot for somebody to hit exactly in the same place again, but it's possible.
Someone hit there?
Yeah, somebody. Yeah. That's what I was going to say. Somebody found that spot, and somebody could find it again. So that's one of those precautionary things you just cannot bypass once the wall's been compromised.
Yeah, so the field is under tow behind the pace truck right now. They're coming off of turn number 2. Again, that pace truck has been slowed down. I will give NASCAR a lot of credit. Once we went back under yellow, they needed to finish repairing this wall, but they're running slower pace laps to try and minimize the laps under caution to give us as much opportunity for more green flag racing toward the end of this race. So the next time by, Corey Heim will cross the start-finish line. It'll be 7 laps to go, and they're going to get the 1 to go. So that means we're going to restart with 6 to go here at Texas, Mark. Oof, a lot can happen.
You know what? Inside of all this, there's always a silver lining, right? It's a dark cloud over all the guys who've been wrecked and knocked out of the race. But here's what this late race attrition has given us. Stephen Parsons, 4th. Barely Curry in 6th. Dawson Sutton in 7th. Matt Mills in 10th. Those guys were... They could desperately use a top 10. It would be really great for these teams that are relatively smaller teams compared to some of these other guys.
Yeah, Rajah Caruth running in 3rd, Ben Rhodes in 2nd. In fact, let's give you a rundown of where they run as they're about to take the flag with 1 to go before we restart here at Texas Motor Speedway and hit the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. The Toyota of Corey Heim leads the Ford of Ben Rhodes and the Chevy of Rajah Caruth. Stephen Parsons 4th. 5th is Daniel Hemrick. Bailey Curry is 6th. 7th, Dawson Sutton. Tanner Gray is 8th. Tyler Ankrum 9th. Matt Mills is 10th.
11th is Matt Crafton. Connor Mozak 12th. 13th, Jack Wood. Then it is Jake Garcia in 14th, 15th, Ty Majeski. Nick Sanchez, 16th, 17th, Chandler Smith. That truck is beaten and battered, but he is the last truck on the lead lap. -1 in 18th is Spencer Boyd. Nathan Bird is 19th, 20th, Carson.
Behind the pace truck right now. We're going to restart with 6 laps to go, and we don't know what's going to happen here, Pat Patterson.
Well, we do know this. They know exactly how much time's on the clock, so to speak, and everybody for whatever position they think they can get here. Corey Heim's just been so tough all night long, and I expect him to really jump out here as the field comes into turns 3 and 4. Lights are off on the pace truck. Heim's going to be up there with the veteran Ben Rhodes. Rajah Caruth, who loves this racetrack, runs really well here. He's got a shot at things this evening, rather. And Stephen Parsons up here in the mix. Daniel Hemrick as well. We're ready to settle it up here. 6 laps to go here at Texas.
Corey Heim has led 84 laps. He needs to lead 6 more to take the checkered flag. They're in the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Green flag is out. Ben Rhodes gets a great restart. Turn number 1.
You got to believe none of these guys have really been able to run a pace with Corey Heim all night long, but you never know. He'll lead them off of turn number 2. Side-by-side fight for second between Rhodes and Caruth.
They stay locked together as Heim drives away now. He's stretched it out to about 5 truck lengths over 2nd and 3rd. Stephen Parsons trying to get into the mix here and stay into that top 5. Here comes Corey Heim off turn 4.
Corey Heim leads, but a side-by-side battle for second. Ben Rhodes on the outside of Rajah Caruth. Rhodes with the advantage at the start-finish line.
Side by side, exactly what the race leader Corey Heim wants to see. Stephen Parsons riding 5th. He started shotgun on the field. The battle continues to rage for second. Trouble. 2 trucks into the outside wall in turn number 2. One of them is Jake Garcia trying to get a number on the second one. It would appear to be the Connor Mosak machine, but I'll confirm that just as soon as possible.
Yeah,
it was in fact Mosak along with Jake Garcia.
So that brings out the caution flag for the 10th time as they cross the start-finish line. 4 laps left in this race. It looks like we are going to overtime at Texas. First time for the Craftsman Truck Series since May 2024 at Darlington. I still have a hard time getting my arms around that stat.
I would agree, and here's what's going to be interesting. We had Heim, Rhodes, Caruth, Hemrick, your top 4 on the last restart. That's how they run right now. Every one of those drivers has had a sample of what their competitors did on the last restart. They know exactly what they did and what they would do different on the next one. Going to be interesting to see how that goes. Jake Garcia, the whole back end of that truck looks like it's gone. The tailgate flopping on his truck, and that's unfortunate as he heads down to the end of pit road. Connor Mozak's truck still up against the outside retaining wall at the exit of turn number 2 as well. Once the restart happened, Doug Turnbull was down at the infield care center and was able to talk to Grant Enfinger, who made an early exit from this race in that last caution.
All right, here with Grant Enfinger. Grant, tough hit out there. What happened in front of you?
Nothing happened in front of me. It was underneath me. Just Texas is just treacherous when you lose a grip, and Stewie just lost it under me. The air was affecting us more than normal. When somebody's ear outside, it affected it. I gave him about a half a lane, and he just got loose. I tried to give him more room, and just wrecked. You know, just a racing deal. Yeah, he just got loose under me. Not really anything we could do, but proud of our guys. Our champion power equipment Chevy was not the best out there, but we were in contention. Jeff made some good calls. We were being aggressive. Feel like we did what we had to do to run top 3 tonight, and yeah, just racing, just treacherous here when you lose grip at Texas.
And crew chief Jeff Stankiewicz.
It was. Now it's slightly used.
Slightly used. They will build it back better.
Well, we need to make that a political slogan, of some sort. We'll build it back better. Yeah,
all right, let's go down to Brett McMillan.
Well, Brad, you talked about Jake Garcia's truck and how badly damaged it is. They've already taken off the tailgate and kind of thrown it on top of the bed of the truck. They're doing a lot of banging and hammering on the bed of the truck at this point in time. Also doing a lot of pulling and tugging of sheet metal down the left side, trying to pick up stuff off the back of the truck. It's just a real mess, and I don't know if they'll be able to get that thing back out there. It's pretty badly damaged, as you talked about.
So we've talked about how we're going overtime for the first time since May 2024, and we're doing it at the track that now has the most overtime finishes in the Craftsman Truck Series history at 14, Texas Motor Speedway.
And this is the track that has run more Craftsman Truck Series races than any other as well, and we've seen a lot of crazy things, a lot of great memories, a lot of great racing from this track, a lot of first-time winners as well. There was a time where Brendan Gaughan owned Texas. He won 4 in a row here.
Yeah, that was his personal playground here for a while. Looking at that replay, kind of wonder what Jake Garcia was thinking, because he kind of came around Connor Bozak, then drove right down on him, took the air off of both of those trucks. It was kind of an odd move that he made there they tried to exit turn number 2.
Yeah, we'll call that a learning moment.
We've had a lot of those tonight. Gio Ruggiero, if you just joined us early on, decided to try to drive through the grass. Didn't work. It created a pothole that tore his truck apart because, again, all the rain, the grass kind of soggy. The truck just sank in there. Then Lane Riggs was pushed into that grass area by Luke Fenhouse. He, too, got a divot, and that tore his truck to pieces. So there's been a lot of learning experiences tonight, and one is, if there's been a lot of rain, don't try to mow the grass.
Good point. Mark, 32 trucks started this race. Only 21 are still on track. A third of our field out of this race or behind the wall due to attrition. The pace truck is bringing them around. We're going to get one to go. We've got a green-white checker overtime restart to explain the rules and how this works. They will come back around. They will take the green flag. They'll run a lap. They'll come back and take the white flag and then the checker. So it'll be 2 laps under green to end this race. But if a caution should come out before they take the white flag, we're going to re-rack them, and we're going to restart them and have another attempt at overtime. Should the leader take the white flag, the next flag will end the race, whether that be a caution flag on the final lap or whether they make it all the way back around for the checkered flag. That's the way it works in overtime. Unlimited attempts at an overtime restart, but that's if the caution comes out before the white.
The last restart, I said Corey Heim just had to lead 6 more. Well, he's led 6 more. Okay, so now we got to add 3 more for Corey Heim to win this race. He's led 5 times for 90 laps. The next closest lap leader, Tyler Ankrum, who led the first 24 laps of this race and basically dropped off the face of the planet as far as winning this race is concerned. Grant Enfinger out of the race 3 times. He led for 19 laps, 12 laps led for Ty Majeski. So Corey Heim has certainly dominated. He's back up in front of Pat Patterson.
Yeah, we're watching these trucks now once again, kind of keeping that heat in the tires, lights off on the pace truck, and Corey Heim just hoping that he can get to that white flag before anything else goes wrong for him here tonight. Ben Rhodes is right up here on the front row with him. Rajah Caruth is up here as well. Daniel Hemrick is in the mix. Tanner Gray also in this top group of trucks getting ready to refire here at Texas. We're ready to go again.
We're in overtime in the SpeedyCash.com 250. Green flag is out. Corey Heim gets a big jump with a push from Rajah Caruth.
As he's done all night long, Corey Heim elects to restart on the bottom, but Ben Rhodes will keep pace entering turn number 1.
Got a car that misfired down there, hit the grass, and is in turn 1. No caution is out yet. Battle up front. Corey Heim trying to hold on to it. 3 wide. Rajah Caruth coming to the bottom of the racetrack. Now the caution flag has come out.
Yeah, caution now is out for the 11th time here at Texas Motor Speedway. And getting a read on that truck that is midway down the back straightaway. Matt Mills in the number 42. Thank you very much for that, Rob. Matt Mills now coming down to pit road. So as we mentioned, we're going to get to do this all over again, another overtime restart.
Take 2 in overtimes here tonight at Texas Motor Speedway. And again, we have a driver who caught the edge of the grass right there in that little kink heading to turn number 1, that little left-hand turn right there. And you get off in that grass, the truck sinks, it gets into the grass and just tears the nose right off it. It's happened to Matt Mills. Tough break because he had a pretty good run going.
Yeah, he had a very good run going, and the front end of that truck is just destroyed. You know, hey, look, the crews here at Texas Motor Speedway work very, very hard to keep this track in tip-top shape. I'm sure the landscaping crew would like a little extra help now and then. This is not what they have in mind when it comes to getting some extra help in mowing the grass.
I think they're going to need some sod, and they're going to need a paint job for the Andy's Frozen Custard 300 logo. That's been torn apart by a number of trucks that went across it there. And again, yeah, celebration. You know, he caught a great, a drainage cover, whatever, and tore his car all to pieces that night. It's kind of the same thing's happening here, only because, again, the grass is super wet and the truck sinks in, and once that splitter catches, that's it, man. It just digs in.
Yeah, he won the All-Star race and then proceeded to drive straight into the grass and destroy the front end of that race car.
Yeah. Hey, I won $1 million, and it's going to cost us $300,000 to fix the car, right? You know, something
here,
like that.
tech this.
Yeah. Hey, that definitely took care of the tech inspection that night.
Hey, he got the top prize, and he is now also in the NASCAR Hall of Fame. Carl Edwards has done more than one backflip here at Texas Motor Speedway throughout his Hall of Fame career as well. And we're about to actually see him this summer back as part of the broadcast crew when we get to the Amazon Prime TNT part of the season, which I think is going to be a great thing. It's great to have Carl back in NASCAR, and pretty thrilled about that.
And I think, you know, NASCAR has done a good job in the last couple of years. They now have that hard card for the NASCAR Legends.
The alumni.
The alumni card. And it's a big deal. You see on social media posts the Kevin LePages, the Rick Mass, all these different guys that have given their heart and soul to this sport over the years. And NASCAR saying, look, we want you around. Here, we're going to make it easy for you to come back to the racetrack. And Carl Edwards, the Ricky Rudds now in the Hall of Fame and that kind of thing. It's good to see those guys back at the track. Really is.
Yeah, it really is. So very thankful for what NASCAR has done with that alumni program. Obviously, with the NASCAR Hall of Fame, that has allowed us to tell some great stories. The nominees were just announced a couple of weeks ago for the next class of the Hall of Fame. That's going to be voted upon on Tuesday, May 20th. That's going to be the Tuesday after the All-Star race, but before the Coca-Cola 600. So really looking forward to see how that goes. People like Greg Biffle are on the list. Kurt Busch made the nominating list as well. Randy LaJoie, a two-time what was then the Busch Series champion, now the Xfinity Series, and just a lot of great names. So looking forward to hearing the stories about some of those wonderful careers.
I worked with Randy LaJoie back in the Busch Series days when they won the championship with Birdie as his crew chief and Bill Baumgartner, the car owner there. So that was a pretty hefty team. And back then, not only did they win championships, but that was when you had, 15, 20 cup drivers showing up for some races, and they were still winning. They were beating those guys. That's how good that team was.
Yeah, when Texas Motor Speedway opened in 1997, that is the era of when Randy LaJoie was winning those back-to-back championships in what's now the Xfinity Series. Beautiful blue paint scheme with FINA as the sponsor. That was actually one of my favorite cars because it was just simple.
Well, it was simply fast. On top of that, they could get around the racetrack, and he'd lock horns with the Cup drivers and give them everything they could stand right back then. That's for sure.
All right, here we go. We're coming back to 1 to go. Corey Heim leads this race here at Texas. Our second overtime restart going to happen through the Echo Park Automotive Restart Zone. Ben Rhodes runs in second. He did not get a good restart on that last one. Rajah Caruth in third. Fourth is Tanner Gray now. Fifth is Daniel Hemrick. Tyler Ankrum runs sixth. Seventh, Matt Crafton. Jack Wood is eighth. Bailey Curry ninth. 10th is Dawson Sutton.
So again, as they get ready to go, Heim inside, Rhodes outside row 1, then Rajah Caruth inside of row number 2, but Tanner Gray elects to go behind him, so Daniel Hemrick now moves to the outside of row number 2 to try to make this thing interesting. Hemrick, of course, has already won this season. Corey Heim has won. Ben Rhodes, been 41 races. Been a while for Rajah Caruth since he went to victory lane at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Tanner Gray, still looking for that first win. Got a lot of hungry guys up there going after Corey Heim.
Yeah, and give that McAnally Hilgeman crew a lot of credit, and the driver, Daniel Hemrick, in that Napa Gold 100th anniversary special paint scheme. Chase Elliott has a similar one that he'll run on Sunday. Brad Sweet at the dirt track tomorrow night with the High Limit Racing Series, same paint scheme. At one point, Hemrick had to come down for 2 extensive pit stops, restarted at the back of the field, and now he's going to restart in overtime on the outside of row number 2. Pat Patterson.
Yep, they're lined up once again. We're going to give it another try. Corey Heim knows that right now this is not a gimme. I mean, he's got a fast truck, but these guys were all over him in this last restart. He'll start right alongside Ben Rhodes. Daniel Hemrick is up there, and Rajah Caruth. Pace truck hits the pit road. Let's see what happens next.
We're in double overtime at Texas Motor Speedway. Green flag is back out. Ben Rhodes gets a great start. He is door-to-door with Ben Rhodes as they hit turn number 1.
Corey Heim on the bottom. Ben Rhodes up on the top side. Heim gets a shove from behind in the person of Rajah Caruth. He's got half a truck length advantage, but Ben Rhodes battles back on the top.
Dead heat down the backstretch. Here we go for all the marbles, and on the bottom of the racetrack is Corey Heim. Heim now gets out by a nose. Rhodes not letting him go. Fights back on the outside off of 4.
Coming to the white flag, Corey Heim cannot clear Ben Rhodes. They are door-to-door. Daniel Hemrick now makes it 3 wide on the bottom.
Corey Heim will try to race into turn number 1 in the middle of a 3 wide. Hemrick is there. Rhodes is there. They're off turn 2.
And here they come down the backstretch, perhaps for the final time today. Corey Heim trying to hold off Daniel Hemrick. Will it be Heim time again as he goes to the bottom of the racetrack? He stretches it out now. Here comes Corey Heim for the win.
Corey Heim has broken free. He is going to win for the first time at Texas Motor Speedway. Survives in double overtime to win the SpeedyCash.com 250. His third win in 2025 in the opening 8 races, the 14th of his career.
Corey Heim will beat Daniel Hemrick, your runner-up finisher. Third, Rajah Caruth. Tyler Ankrum finished 4th. And rounding out the top 5 is Tanner Gray as we pause 10 seconds for station identification here on the NASCAR Racing Network.
Man, did Daniel Hemrick make that thing interesting, taking it 3 wide. And you talk about trust. Corey Heim gave him the bottom, and Hemrick took his shot, and when he couldn't get it, he backed out, so he did not wreck either Corey Heim or, of course, Ben Rhodes.
Yeah, that was great. Corey Heim has that Toyota Tundra right up against the outside safer barrier at the start-finish line. His crew comes out to greet him. You're going to hear from the race-winning driver as well as our top finishers when we come back here to Texas Motor Speedway.
Hi, I'm Ron.
And, well, after 2 attempts at NASCAR overtime, we finally was able to finish the Speedy Cash 250 here at Texas Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series 11 cautions. And, well, a 2 hour, 35 minute and a 34 second race. So a little bit of a long truck race, and of course it had to be a chaotic truck race with tons of cautions on the one weekend where we've got 47 streams and everyone needs sleep. So, well done, NASCAR. But then again, it's NASCAR, so we can't really complain, can we? Because I think everyone knew that NASCAR can be chaotic, and we were kind of expecting it, to be fair, here at Texas. But we are getting ready to hear from our race winner, Corey Heim.
Celebrating a big win for Corey Heim, his third victory in the Toyota of the 2025 season. Let's go down to pit road to hear from some of our top finishers. Brett McMillan.
Well, Tyler Ankrum, you came home in fourth place. Interesting day, to say the least. How do you feel about your run?
Good truck. I mean, good speed. Just more mistakes. Something was happening with the radio harness. And I was leading and couldn't hear anything that whole first stage. Relented a little bit when we went back green racing, just because you don't want to wreck your own stuff, because you're literally driving out the mirrors the whole time. You don't have a spotter and you can't hear anything, and just when you can't talk back to the crew, it's impossible to fix the problem, right? So and then we figured out something with hand motions, and that got backwards, and so I was loose all night, and we're just they're thinking the hand signals I'm getting are just I'm just free me up. It's no, I'm too free. I need to go the other way. Man, it's just more mistakes. And then we got something wrong on the lucky dog, and we should have been up front. So I don't know. It's just another race winning truck, and we're gonna come home top 5.
Well, they did come home fourth today, but you can hear it. You felt like there could have been more there. Let's go to Doug Turnbull.
Hey, that was quite the run for Tyler Ankrum. And how about it for Raja Karuth? You were in the mix there at the finish, and at one point, you almost cashed in that truck mid-race and lost a lot of spots. How do you feel about the result?
Yeah, overall, I didn't feel like I did the best job tonight. I'm just really proud of my HenryCars.com, Aspire Motorsports Chevrolet group. I didn't give us any stage points tonight, and pretty disappointed with how I performed earlier in the race, but we had a great green flag cycle and executed a great end of the race, and we're in position there. Just that last restart, I timed it around behind Corey, and he had waited. He changed up what he was doing and waited a little bit longer, and just kind of got us all choked up, and I kept trying to get in there, and it's just hard with the splitters and everything. So just think I could have done a better job, but proud to get a third place finish. Wish we got some stage points, but good way to start this 6-week stretch.
Yeah, a lot to think about here after this race. An exciting finish there for Raza Karuth III.
He mentioned a 6-week stretch. This is their longest stretch of races during the season in 2025, and I think it comes to a close at Michigan in June.
Yeah, they're going to go all the way through Nashville for sure. And you mentioned Michigan there. They've got Kansas next week, All-Star Weekend at North Wilkesboro Speedway, where Rajah Caruth is going to have that special NASCAR Day paint scheme, where if you donate on NASCAR Day, you could get your name actually on Rajah's Caruth for North Wilkesboro Speedway. Then it's Charlotte for the Coca-Cola 600 race weekend. We go to Nashville after that. But let's go back down to pit road and Doug Turnbull.
How about it for Daniel Hemrick here, who comes up, I think it was in the second position. Indeed it was. And I saw the two questions. First, saw you discussing it over with Bailey Curry there at the end of that finish, trying to get things shook out of the restart, but also that 3-wide move to try to take the lead in turn 1. Walk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, gosh, it's the choose kind of went a little differently than what I played in my mind how it was going to. I thought we were going to restart about third row on the bottom, and when outside row 2 opened up, you got to go forward in rows, especially with guys with tires. And yeah, you had tons of guys there with tires kind of lined up right behind us, and man, I think we were on a 40 lap green flag tire deficit. So we knew we were trying to just execute what we were kind of the way the cards are falling for the day, and Josh Graham did a great job keeping us in the ball game. But yeah, that last restart, we launched fine, everything felt fine, and then when they got 3 wide, and the way the draft worked, I knew I had to have a perfect angle to turn left on the 11 there and not clip the grass like we saw guys do all night. So yeah, he gave me enough room, and yeah, I didn't quite have enough to lean on there to just fully do what I wanted to in one. But I feel like we gave it a valid effort with this Napa 100 Silverado, and it's been cool though to celebrate these colors, have this gold Silverado. Napa celebrating 100 years in business, and a privilege to wear this brand, and man, wish we could stand there in victory lane with those guys though.
Well, you put on a heck of a show there, Daniel Hemrick, and one spot higher is Brett McMillan now in victory lane.
All right, Corey Heim has pulled into victory lane, and he is climbing out of his truck and standing on the window, and we have flames, we have fireworks going off, and we have all kinds of confetti as he comes in here. One spot better than a year ago. My goodness, a dominant performance today with a lot of drama over those last 2 laps. Take me through what you were thinking after that final restart, and all of a sudden you're going 3 wide on that as you took the white flag.
Yeah, man, I can't believe how many restarts we got there at the end. But going into turn 1, pretty much the worst possible position I could be in was 3 wide middle, and there it was. So I knew I was either going to win or wreck, and I just was willing to take that risk. And obviously, we were able to dominate the whole race today, so kind of laid it all out there and knew the risk, but wanted that reward. So super thankful for Taikon Garage, Toyota, Safe Flight. Just so cool to have this National Foster Care Awareness Month scheme. Really cool cause we're going for, and to open it up in the month of May with the win is really cool.
What's it feel like to have a truck as dominant as the one you had today? And do you get concerned at all that maybe something's going to happen?
I think inevitably there's going to be a caution at some point. It seems like in these stage 3s, people either wreck on pit road or, under green, blow a tire, something like that. So kind of knew it was coming when it first came out with like 26 to go. It was kind of, it was halfway expected, but the 8 or 9 cautions we had there in the last 10 laps were pretty brutal to say the least. I couldn't say I expected that one, but regardless, just knew the risk of putting it all out there to win and how big these runs are at Texas, but I was willing to take that risk.
Third win of the year for Corey Heim. He takes the checkered flag here at Texas Motor Speedway, and he'll get himself a nice little gift here at Victory Lane. Let's go back to Doug Turnbull.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you very much to the radio feed of the NASCAR Racing Network for taking you through the Speedy Cash 250 for the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series. You can join us tomorrow. All of the live streams are scheduled on the channel, and you can set reminders for all of them as well. Thank you for joining us, and make sure to join us later on today or tomorrow if you are over there in the States. See you then.